Welcome to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, pulling fans, coming to you live, the No Practice Podcast for episode 44, which is ridiculous, but nonetheless, here we are. Every other Wednesday night, joined by my hosts, Mr. Chase Richardson and Adam Kester. Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
Never better. How are you, brother?
Doing good. How about you, Adam?
I'm not too bad. How about yourself?
I have good news to report. I just noticed today I have hair growing back on my leg. It's starting to look normal again.
Is that right?
Go out in public, I don't feel like a complete idiot anymore. So time heals everything, even wax legs.
That's a bit of a shame. If you don't know what that reference is, you've missed a few episodes, but you got to go back and check it out. Adam, I see a very curious look as you admire your beverage. What are we tipping back this evening? Was that a Good Boy I spotted there?
It is, and I've never had one, but I just did.
Please.
I had to look.
What is a Good Boy?
I had to see. Blackberry iced tea and lemonade. Okay. Not bad. You know, since I'm having a hard time keeping the front end off the ground, I need to lighten up the load on the back of the tractor.
Yeah. How many
Switchy problems.
How many pounds are you weighing these days?
I haven't weighed myself, but it's over 205.
Okay, that's not bad though. I feel like, what do you guys think the heaviest guy to run a mini rod ever was?
Dave Campbell.
Sky King. Is that him?
That was the reason the tractor was named Sky.
Oh,
that guy could really drive though. He was a damn good driver, man.
Because it would go sky high. Is that what that means?
Sure. Well, he had so much weight on the back of the tractor.
How often do y'all weigh yourselves, not for personal pleasure, but for mini rod information?
I mean, I'm trying to go hard these days, so I weigh myself every single night.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty much trying to starve myself for a competitive advantage in the mini rod class.
What about you, Adam?
I don't weigh myself. My kid, we had a scale in our bathroom, and it's a digital scale. So he thought it was cool when he was little to take the batteries out of it every time. And every morning he took the batteries out of it. So the cover's missing and the batteries are gone. And honestly, if you look in the mirror, you don't want to know the number anyways.
That's fair.
That's an honest answer. If there was,
you know me, Mr. Honesty.
Definition of honesty, I think that's about as honest as it gets. I myself took the month of May, was trying to trim down, and then wasn't where I needed to be. And I've started drinking beer more during pulling season. I refuse to get back on the scales, so I just take week to week. Hopefully, I don't have to throw weight off. But it really is a difference. It's a crazy. Your habits as a human really affect these vehicles. That's kind of what makes it different than everything else, right?
It's true. I see somebody saying you need to get on the Jeff Hurt program. I feel like that's one noticeable driver that has dropped some serious LBs in the off season. And that guy's shed some pounds, and I feel like it's showing.
Yes. Speaking of Jeff, we kind of, we're very busy, all busy in the middle of pulling season. Tyler, you're pulling tomorrow night through Saturday. Adam and I are pulling Friday and Saturday in between weeks. I'd say this is the busiest point of pulling all year, but we do have some guests tonight. Donnie Bauer from Ironman Pulling Sleds will be joining us. Be the first ever sled operator, to my knowledge, that we've had on this podcast. So obviously we'll be doing some digging on some recent situations in the pulling world, but probably more than anything, I don't even really know how a sled works. I fundamentally do, but I think it'll be very interesting to see or hear his standpoint of what goes into it, because I think that doesn't get talked about enough. And then secondly, have a group of mini rod pullers Adam and I were competing with. Jeff Hurt, who you mentioned there, Mr. Ozempic himself, pretty skinny. Jeff Hurt, the Campbell pulling team, Cody Singletary will all be joining us to end the show to kind of talk about I think they had 5 mini rods between the teams, and they switched motors like 3 or 4 times last weekend alone, and it's kind of just a sign of a hard time, but it's also a great teamwork story I think we'll dive into with all those guys. So them as well, and then have another guest we'll be bringing on. So lots to talk about. We probably will keep this show a little shorter than normal, but we make no promises, because Tyler, what time are you leaving to go to Goshen?
Well, typically in years past, we run Thursday afternoon in Goshen, but much to my surprise at the drivers' meeting in Henry, I found out we will be running Thursday evening in Goshen, which means we're actually going to leave tomorrow morning. So for the first time ever, I get to run at night in Goshen.
Imagine that. Mini rods.
It's an interesting concept that I'm looking forward to. So, yeah. The only downside is, so we run Goshen, Indiana, and then Evansville, Indiana, which is a town I think Adam has heard of before. So we run there on Friday evening, and then we run Altamont, Illinois on Saturday evening. So we have 3 pulls, 3 days in a row at 3 different locations. So it always was kind of nice that, we could run in the afternoon at Goshen and then, make the drive to either Fort Recovery or Evansville. But now I think we're going to make the drive to the Boyd compound and spend the evening there tomorrow night. So that means
Thursday night.
Yeah, that means in the morning we're going to wake up, we're going to go to a pull, we're going to leave the pull, and we're going to go to the Boyds, spend the night there, and then wake up in the morning and drive to another pull, and then pull and go to sleep, and wake up in the morning and go to another pull, and pull and go to sleep, and then wake up and come home. So it's quite an action-packed schedule. So
how far is the drive from each place to the other?
I want to think Goshen to Evansville is maybe like 5 hours or something like that, and I think it's, I don't know, I'm guessing 4-ish to Altamont, but I guess I really don't know, to be honest.
I can't believe you're not staying at Adam's house Friday night.
I have a swimming pool that you can
I do
use.
like a swimming pool. Something tells me Adam will be in Fort Recovery, though.
What up? Like yourself.
Yeah, but my wife will be home, so you can come visit and see the new baby.
And Adam, I don't want to reveal too much of your information, but Adam literally lives on the same road, or basically the same road that fairgrounds is on. So in less than 10 minutes, you're from your house to that fairgrounds, right?
And you're not even going to be pulling there. Is that right, Adam?
My favorite Mexican restaurant is actually right in front of
I'm glad you said restaurant.
What was I supposed to say?
At first, I thought you were going to say, like, my favorite Mexican lives up the road or something. I was going to be like, Adam, that's inappropriate.
Hey, we're not getting into that, but there's not a lot of them around here,
I see what you did there.
Family show, gentlemen, family show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll go there, then Altamont, Illinois. All those are Pro Pulling League events. You had your first Pro Pulling League event was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
Yes.
At Henry, Illinois, and I don't think it could have went any better for you, right?
I mean, not really. I was test hook with my father's tractor because I know I spread some more fake news on the show last episode, and I said Bruce was going to be getting back in the seat, but at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, day of, he said he's just not feeling well enough, and he said I was going to be driving, which meant I was test hook with his tractor, and I dropped my run with his tractor, and I was last hook with my tractor. And so that means I was going to be pulling back to back. Imagine that. We've got, 14 tractors in between us, and I still end up running back to back. But I pulled into the lead with my tractor and hopped right in his, and I promptly beat myself by a pretty good margin with his tractor and ended up first and second, lucky enough. So I was feeling.
Did they reset? Did they reset the sled after your first pass?
Yes, they did. I think even a couple people ran after me, and they ended up resetting the sled. So I was feeling really good about it, and I was feeling especially good when we got home. We unloaded everything, and I serviced it, checked filters, downloaded computers, thought I was all good to go, reloaded things on Sunday, which is very rare for us to load up on Sunday. So I was feeling really, really good. And it wasn't until Monday when I got out of work and I watched the winners video that they'll post of all the class winners. And I noticed right as I was letting out of the throttle, a pretty significant plume of smoke leaving one of my header pipes. And
leaking valve cover.
yeah,
No?
maybe I just left a couple of valve cover nuts loose, right? That'd be best case scenario. But you can see it pretty deliberately and intentionally coming out of one header pipe there. And that did not make
I knew right away.
That didn't make me feel very good. So I promptly went home and I busted out a bore scope inside the trailer, and I saw what appeared to be a piston with a chunk out of it that isn't looking too round right there by that valve relief.
Explain to the live viewers what exactly kind of scope we're looking at here.
Okay, so a bore scope is a little screen, as we see, and on the back side of that bore scope, there's essentially a pretty stout but flexible wire with a teeny tiny little camera and a light on the end. So you can actually remove a spark plug and fish this wire with a camera on it down through the spark plug hole, look down into the cylinder, and then displayed on the screen is what the camera's looking at. So without removing a cylinder head, I was able to visually inspect the piston there and indeed confirm the suspicion that there are parts that don't look too good. So I called up my buddy Evan. We promptly unloaded it and removed the cylinder head to find that 2 pistons were ready to leave the chat and not too happy with me. So we proceeded to continue teardown, and eventually Farmer Bruce showed up to join us. We got the whole rack out of it. And as you can see, Adam, how long do you think that piston would have kept running for me before it just came apart?
Well, I would give her at least about 35, 45 feet.
Yeah. You know, it was hanging in there. It was doing good.
You would have known when you started it up when it was smoking.
Yeah,
so you can see
the
a hole
cover would not be loose.
Yeah, hole number 4 also not looking too hot there. So you know, we
looks to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Adam, share your comment. You told me in Tyler.
Yeah,
I think that's a defective.
You think
part.
that's a defective
Why
part?
do you think that though?
So do you think the material is so thin by the valve relief and the groove for the piston ring that it's just so thin that that's where it broke?
I would not give away too many secrets, but maybe you get a caliper out and you look at the size of that valve relief, and I bet it's a lot bigger than your valve is.
Okay.
So there's really not a need for that much relief.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we buy pistons by the bulk because Farmer Bruce is all about a solid bargain, and I can't blame him. So we've got a plethora of those pistons, and we had some more rods around, and we replaced number 2, number 4 sleeve, threw 8 new pistons in it, 8 new rods. Farmer Bruce ground a fresh set of rings up, and we slapped it back together. We had it running last night, and I ran the valves today when I got out of work, and it's now loaded back into the trailer, ready to leave in the morning. So,
did you do the redneck crankshaft test?
What's the redneck crankshaft test?
Well, if you don't have a magnaflexing machine, which will show cracks, sometimes people would say that if you take a wrench or some sort of object and tap along the crankshaft, and if it rings like a tuning fork, it's probably okay. If it's dead, you're gonna probably be leaving the chat.
Take a wrench,
soon.
right? Take a wrench and hit the side of it.
Yeah, right on the rod journals.
Yeah,
you just smack it with a wrench, right?
No. On the counterweights. Yeah. You tap on the counterweights.
So. Okay, well
tap on the counterweight.
That's a hot tip. We are 15 minutes into this show, and I already learned something. So I'll be.
Randy Petro was the first guy that's ever I've seen use that and do that, and
yeah,
obviously he was a Hall of Famer. Adam probably has stories where Randy. Some guys can fix some things, but Randy can make shit happen if he's in a pinch. So he's a pretty.
Randy did a lot of stuff.
What's the craziest Randy Petro patched together to get down the track? Jesse could probably tell us.
There's 2 of them. I have two of them, and I think they both occurred at Chapel Hill, Tennessee, which we'll get into later. But Randy made a pass on Friday night, and they saw some material in the filter, so they put it on the lift. They pulled the oil pan, dropped the oil pan, looked up in there, and noticed that one of the main caps was in two pieces, and we'll just slide that oil pan back on because there's no fixing that situation unless you have a cap that was on that engine at one point in time to line up the bore, obviously. But the other time I do believe that he ran it.
He just ran it with a main cap that was broken in two pieces.
Yeah, and he won
Get
the next night.
hell out of here.
Swear to God, dude.
Retorqued it at him.
No, he didn't. Well, I mean, he may have retorqued it, but I mean, you don't take them apart because you'll never get it back in there, right? So it was definitely broken too, and maybe he did retorque it, but they just slid that pan back on there, and they did. Well, Wesley Foster, it may have been salute anyone, but it happened at Chapel Hill, Tennessee.
I'd say he did it more.
The other thing I seen him do one time at Chapel Hill is had a problem with a piston, I'm pretty sure, and they were replacing the piston, but come to find out they didn't have the right piston size for the hole, and they ran a 4 7/16 piston and a 4.5 inch bore.
Come on.
And
I think he got second or third that night.
Yeah, he did good with that one too.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he was.
Not
there
lying.
could be a whole session with him. Maybe we can get Jesse back on here one day.
So the
lies.
piston had an additional 30 thou all the way around it, as far as just piston slap and rock in there, and he's just it'll be
I
fine.
want to say that was our piston. For some reason, I was a kid. I think that was my dad had it and he gave it to Randy. I might be wrong on that, but
man, I could never get that lucky.
Yeah.
The worst thing about it was too, before we took Bruce's tractor to Henry, we're like, well, we're going to be smart and we're going to drop the pan on it and we're going to put a fresh set of rod bearings in it.
We're responsible kids.
We're responsible pullers. We're going to do a little bit of preventative maintenance. So that set of rod bearings had 2 passes on it, and now they're in the trash. So, yeah.
Hard on
You
those
got
bearings
first and
there,
second,
brother.
though, right?
We did get first and second, and I think it was Jeremy Nelson ended up saying on Facebook, that's what you get for showing off and going so far. And I told him, no regrets. I would do it all again.
For you.
I would do it all again. We're loading up for 3 days. We got a whole spare engine. We got a spare cylinder head. We got a spare rod, spare piston, spare sleeves. We got our sleeve puller, which that was a whole nother backstory, trying to find that in the trailer because it's been a while since we used it. So it looked like a bomb went off in our trailer. And props to my father for putting the entire pulling trailer back together while I was at work. So, yeah, all's well that ends well. Hopefully it runs good and makes a nice pass for us this weekend. So,
yeah,
indeed.
Yeah. Well, Adam and I were in Chapel Hill. Friday was rain. They got 3 classes in. It was an eventful mini rod class. We'll get to that probably here later on. There you see some guys working on it. That's some of our guests later on. That's commitment. We'll get the comments from Jeff, the Campbells, and Cody on that. But got through there was a 5-way pull off the mini rod class, Adam being one of them. The rain came, rained it out. So there was not actually a winner. And then Saturday did not fare well for me. I finished really bad. I think I'm 17th or 18th. But if you're off your game a little bit in this class, I think we had 21 there. It's just like it was in Henry. You can look stupid really quick. So it wasn't good for me, Adam. It was better for you, but what's your Chapel Hill takeaways other than being hot and rainy?
Oh,
I don't think anybody wants to hear what my opinions are on that pull.
Oh.
I love the pull. First time ever that my hand slipped off the throttle.
I did see that. I was watching the live stream and I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, because you got instantly, I thought the throttle cable broke, right? But then you got back into the throttle for a half second, and I'm like, well, what the world just happened? What do you run for a throttle? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe it was going to be a winning pass by any means. It would have been okay. But yeah, I don't know honestly, I don't know what happened.
Do you just run like
I've never had that
a
happen.
pipe with no finger grooves, or what's your throttle look
Well,
like?
see, that's just it. My old tractors, we used to run a pipe, right? And it had a bend in it. So I couldn't really, whatever. Well, this is just a plain piece of metal, and my hand just clean slipped right off of it. So the only thing I was thinking about the next two passes, which were equally not good, was holding on to the throttle. So it will be addressed and will be taken care of. So I've had my steering wheel come off. I'd much rather have that happen than take my hand off the throttle.
You don't really need steering, but you need throttle for sure.
In a mini rod, I've had my feet slide off the brake pedals before when it's rained and gotten slick, but not a throttle. But we would, it was not a good weekend for No Practice Podcast in Chapel Hill. It was a good one for No Practice Podcast in Henry. So
better to be lucky than good,
Well, at least someone holds up at least my end of the dead weight. Adam normally does better than me, so I know what I'm capable of.
Let's just say after the weekend, I'm still tied for first in the points.
I saw that.
And for anybody that isn't paying attention, the last show that we had, we kind of made a little stink about maybe some of these pullers not getting to pull at Chapel Hill. And a guy went from 18th in the points to 7th
Brian
place.
Guzza,
so
part of our potential reject rascals that were not going to make the cut in Chapel Hill, and I'm curious to chart those reject rascals throughout the season and see where they end up at the end of the year. So,
he made a move. He basically, because he was in the pull off with you, Adam, right, the first night, and then he won the second. He left there with more than any points of anyone accumulated. So he wasn't in the pull off with you. I think, he was.
No, I didn't say he wasn't.
Yes, sorry.
He was.
So
something.
So who got the chair the first day?
Well, let's just say there was discussion about a chair.
Do tell.
In a small meeting that was had, let's just say that was the least thing that was on anybody's mind. But
the chairs are pretty important, Adam. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I know they are important, but not that important when we're talking about other things.
In a joking manner, they could have just cut the legs up and gave everybody one leg of the chair and wrapped some of the material around it.
Yeah, then I would have 6 1/5 chairs.
That's got a better ring than 6.
That sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. I don't pay attention to much. I didn't know that me and Adam Bauer were tied for 6 wins at that pull.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty neat. I took the lead early in the class, and I was 4th hook. I think I was actually the first person to actually get down the track.
Yeah.
Track was a little bit hard, and I drove that thing out further than I ever have in my life. And it made a decent run. It was a little sketchy. It kind of skated around a little bit before it took off, before it actually hooked and went. Took the lead, held it for a little bit. Adam Bauer put about 7 feet on me. And my next shot, I actually thought I made a lot better run with the red tractor, and I personally don't know what exactly happened. Ended up about 10 feet back from my original pass. And then the third pass, one of the best runs I've made all year long, I feel, and took the lead by 10 feet. Felt pretty good about that. And then seemed like some things happen. You can take of it as you please. But it seemed like everybody after that just kind of scooted on out there easily. So
except me, I didn't.
I would have been interesting to see how that pull-off situation.
Adam, you were one after me, and you put 40 feet on me. How do you think I feel?
Well, I don't know, Chase. Man, it's that was me the last couple of years. So it comes in swings. I hope you figure it out. I don't know what to tell you to do.
Yeah, tell them what gear you're running, Adam.
Yeah, Adam, what gear are you running?
I'd say it starts with a 9.
Tell me off the air if I asked him.
He said it starts with a 9. That's a big lead in, Chase.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, Chase probably runs in the 11.
There's only 9 numbers in 9.
But it's probably a good time. We joke around gears and have fun with guests and one another. But and I guess every other class, and please someone tell me if I'm wrong, gear ratios are pretty well recognized in one whole turn. Would you say that's fair, guys? But in mini,
I don't think so. I think gear ratios in the mini rod class go by 0.2.
No, I said in all classes but ours.
Yeah, probably. Well, half turns. I would say half turns. A lot of 2-wheelers and half turn.
Yeah,
like
two-wheel drives. You ask a guy what gear they're running, they're not saying a half. They're normally just talking whole numbers typically. Not saying that's absolute for everyone.
For most 2-wheel drives, they run anywhere from a high 18 to a 22. And then there's some other people that do some other stuff.
And once again, for the people that aren't really in the know, that's our overall reduction. So a 22 means a 22 to 1, which means the motor turns 22 times for the tires to turn once. So a 2-wheel drive runs a significantly slower or a greater reduction, a slower tire speed, where in a mini rod, it's anywhere from a 9 to a 12, that you're running. And I've legitimately won pulls inside the same season with a 9.5 all the way to like a 12.0, all inside one season.
Never have even seen anything over 11, Tyler. I didn't even know those numbers
so
exist.
the time that I did that, and it's been long enough, I'll say it, I don't even care. We were at Fort Recovery, and it's when there was like 8 of them in the pull-off, and I was test hooked, so it was the third pass I was putting on my tractor. And I had enough time because I was test hooked, kept my run, then they reset the sled. So I dropped to last, and I got out the laptop, downloaded the run, and I was running in the 10s. And that tractor just hung its tongue out. And, I mean, it made a really good pass, but that thing tugged down to like 6,800 because you know how Fort Recovery can just be a horsepower hook and track.
Yeah.
And I'm you know what? Screw it. Like hero or zero move. I went back to the trailer, grabbed the numerically highest number, so the greatest reduction we had, and it was like a 12.0 something. And I swear I split my transmission, pulled the drive shaft, slapped that son of a bitch in there, and won the pull. And afterwards, I forget who it was, but I was standing there drinking beer with my dad, and somebody's like, "Bruce, I sure would love to know what gear you were running in that thing." And my dad looked right at him, didn't even look at me, and didn't hesitate. And he goes, "It was a 12.0. And he goes, "Mother effer, you don't got to answer me, but you don't got to lie to me."
You know what's funny about that?
Would you?
I tell people the truth. I tell people the truth because they're not going to believe you.
The
anyways.
stuff is so different tractor to tractor. Like when I started, when we started working with Shannon Leichner, who had experience, at the Boyds with their mini rods, and we got on his engine program, and he's trying to help us out. And he's like, this is, what we'd always run for a gear, and we had basically an identical motor, but there's no concept of chassis and tire in there. And like, I'm not hating on Shannon. Clearly, he was just trying to help us out as much as possible. And so like those guys were kicking my butt. Of course, I'm going to listen to them. And so I put in there the gear that he told me I should run, and we set the fuel system up how he said we should. And I put my tire pressure where he said we should. And I went out there, and that son of a bee wouldn't hardly turn 6,300 RPM and just hung its tongue out the full distance of the track. And he gets back, and he's looking at the race pack data, and he's like, "I can't believe it didn't turn that." I'm like, "I told you there was no way in hell that was going to happen." And so it's just funny how different chassis and setups take different gears.
Everybody's different. All three of my tractors are set up identical now, but a degree of timing or take a degree out or put a little fuel in or out kind of changes what I want it to change.
Even my father and I don't agree on gear ratios from our tractors. We run different ratios, different.
So how does that different now that you're driving both of the tractors?
Because I ran mine first, I was a little bit more patient on it in Henry, and I hopped right in his, and I said, I'm going to drive this one exactly the same, but I'm going to drive more aggressive, because you know how we all have that feeling in the seat where you're like, "Oh, I want to go wide open with it, but I don't want to one wheel and blow the tires loose." But then you have that moment where you do go wide open with it, and it instantly hooks and picks the front end. And at that instant in your mind, you're like, "Shit, I could have got wide open sooner." And so that's what I had with mine. So I hopped right in his, and I just drove more aggressive, and it worked. So,
but
yeah.
back to our
I don't have it in me to do it anymore, Tyler. I can't throw that thing wide open any harder than what I do.
Well, I'm not
can't do it
saying I'm
anymore.
quite Adam Kester legendary status at flipping it wide open. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying compared to my old man style of driving, of getting wide open at like 100 foot. Like I had 3 chances at it. My first pass in Bruce's tractor, I'll bet I was wide open at 100 foot. In my tractor, I'll bet I was wide open by 40 foot. And in Bruce's tractor, I'll bet I was wide open by 20 foot. So when you get 3 shots, you get to keep sneaking up on it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you go back to the video at Chapel Hill on Friday, that blue tractor, the throttle blades weren't open until 150, 175.
Dang.
Yeah, that's the furthest I've ever driven one out.
With back to the gear.
I can't hide it anymore. That tractor doesn't have black butterflies on it, so you can't really hide it.
Secret's out. It's like the Splinter mini rod with their American flag throttle blades.
Back to the gear ratio point, though, all other vehicles besides mini rods probably talking one-hole turns. I would say y'all may disagree. Every 0.2 of a ratio makes a difference for a mini rod. I would say, would it be a fair compromise to say 0.2 of a ratio similar to probably one ratio, or give or take for a 2-wheel drive or somewhere in there, but you're splitting a lot more hairs in a mini rod. Would you all agree with that?
Well, yeah, it's a percentage of your numerical value. So in a sense, a 0.2 in a mini rod is almost going to be like a 0.45 in a 2-wheel drive. So, you go from a tenth of a whole, or a fifth of a whole number almost equals half of a whole number in a 2-wheel drive percentage wise.
So for anybody who doesn't know, a mini rod runs the fastest gear of any pulling vehicle that I know of.
Yeah, they do definitely. I'd say
nobody turns more tire speed in pulling than mini rods as far as RPM.
That's right.
That's right.
And we wonder why they get crazy.
And we wonder why they tear up tires.
Well,
yeah.
You got to wonder why. As the older you get, it's a little bit harder to know what's going to happen when you throw the throttle forward.
It is. I feel like even when I started driving, which for me doesn't feel like that long ago, but I guess it's longer than what I feel like there was a lot more driving these tractors in the 106 non-planetary reduction axle type back in the day, because you'd more so feel it in the seat of your pants. And like even the first time I drove a planetary style tractor, I was like, I can't feel anything. And my dad's like, yeah, you won't. You just go wide open with it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you kind of learn how to gauge it differently, but I feel like it's just a more aggressive style. And yeah, I feel like you got to, because if you don't, somebody's going to, and they're going to beat you, or they're going to wreck. And that's what makes it fun.
We made the point last show. Obviously, we were going to bring a guest on to read.
I left him a voicemail live on the air.
From us. We were revisiting the two-wheel drive sled situation at Tone, Wisconsin. Big part of the show. And then as you all know that tuned in or was paying attention, there was a new mini rod sled that Adam and myself pulled at Chapel Hill for the first time. That not sure I've ever pulled a sled in the middle of a season like that, a new sled. So with that probably came some challenges for some pullers. For Brian Guzza, he probably didn't see any difference in it. So we have Mr. Donnie Bauer, one of the sled operators from Ironman Pulling Sleds, that is not hitting the reject button tonight. Really? He's actually showed up in person. Donnie, thanks for joining the No Practice Podcast.
Turn your phone to the sideways there a little bit,
like
brother. There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
We're really glad you didn't ghost us this show. We know how it is being a sled operator. Whenever there's pullers calling you, you probably run from it.
No, not at all.
In all honesty, Donnie, thanks for joining us. We introduced you as a sled operator. Why don't you just fire away with who you are, how you got into pulling, and how you're in your current position with the Bauer Pulling Sleds, and that you are not related to the Bauer built family, so to speak. So, Donnie, the floor is yours to give some background on you yourself.
Well, like you said, Donnie Bauer. I'm from Minnesota, grew up here, and still live here. And got into pulling, started in '82, got handed a rock bucket and a screwdriver, and I picked rocks in the track. That's how I started. And I've been involved every year since, some way, shape, or form, whether I competed or run a sled or or help promote. So it's been a fun run, that's for sure. It's great group of people to work with for the most part, and just can't say enough good things about those people. And they're people that are similar to me, kind of like motorheads and stuff. So we got some pretty good celebrities around our area. Esden Lane lives, I don't know, about 8 miles from me. So yeah, we got a lot of Roger Peterson. He was down Chapel Hill. Yeah, we got a lot of guys around.
You ever just like run into any big name pullers at the hardware store or anything?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes Esden will call and say, "Hey, let's go to the Muni for lunch." So we do that sometimes.
That's always fun. I've ran into Tony Seatsma and Menards before. We're just like both looking at like plumbing fittings or something like that. I'm like, "Oh, hey there, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, pretty good. Working on a sink or something like that."
Yeah, no, it happens. Yeah, happens quite a bit actually. So, and it's fun.
Yeah, none of the pullers that I run into. I mean, we got a lot around here. I've run into numerous. Tim Engler, obviously, I used to work for him, but running into the UPS store before they shut that damn thing down. Run into Fred Freeman. He only lives about 2.5 miles as the crow flies from me. Mike Hoppy, light superstock puller. He lives really close to me. We got the Elpers. Russell Korf lives really close to me. Yeah, it's kind of like you run into him every now and then. Hartman's live really close. Pro stock pullers.
So, Donnie, tell us about the transition. How you go from picking up rocks with a bucket and a screwdriver to winding up, sitting in the sled, making the call on whether or not you're going to add a block or change a setting. Like there's a lot in between there, and I feel like you just kind of skipped right over that.
Well, I didn't mean to. Basically, we had a sled operator here, local, that was working for Vaughn. Vaughn bought the old Minnesota sled years ago, and then asked that guy. His name was Steve Johnson. Awesome guy, good sled operator too, and he asked him to run his sled, meaning Vaughn's sled, and then Steve decided he had enough. He was ready to retire, and there was nobody around the area, so we were a little bit skeptical about how are we going to get a sled up here, because we figured the orange sled was going to be gone for good. But it stuck around, and actually I think Vaughn's nephew ran it up here some, and I actually ended up working for another company out of Jefferson City, Missouri. I don't know if you guys remember that, and I used to run one of their sleds for a while.
What company was that, Donnie?
That was Bungart out of Jefferson City. Yeah. Yep. And good group of guys there. Brandon's about maybe a little bit younger. Great guy.
Hell, he's my age.
Is he? Okay.
I do think so.
Okay.
He's a fairly young.
He's got a ways to go. He's not getting up there in age where he can't handle it, but he does a heck of a lot of shows.
Yeah. Tyler, that's who you run last at Henry, right? They do a lot of Pro Pulling League and Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. They do some NTPA stuff like you. Well, you guys don't go to Sandwich, but they go to Sandwich.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I think in a roundabout way, all the sleds have kind of been based around each other here for a while now. They all look very similar, but kind of talk to us about how maybe they differ. I mean, can you tell us maybe
Well,
obviously Bauer built has innovated in the sled game from back in the day. I mean, I remember seeing Vaughn in an open cab back there. Just getting annihilated by dirt and dust, maybe oil if somebody spraying something. But the game's really changed here.
Yeah, he's taken his licks over time, that's for sure. Oil and dust and dirt.
And one Friday.
Yeah,
he took a pretty bad lick when I was hooked to the sled Friday. I hope he's feeling all right, and I hope he's. I really hope that he's feeling good, because that was pretty bad.
It was. He fell on his arm and basically caught himself with his arm. It was a little swelled up the next day, but it wasn't too terribly bad. but it was tender. I mean, it was sore. He'll survive. He's tough.
Oh yeah, he's a tough cookie. For those who don't know, I ended up seeing it on the live stream too. He basically was walking the rails of the sled and unfortunately kind of stumbled off the front or the side of it, which I mean those things are what 4 or 5 foot up. I mean certainly 4. So that's
It had been raining and it was a slick surface with a new paint job, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the roundabout way of saying it.
Right. Yep. That's right.
Donnie,
Well-
what?
Yeah, but
Obviously, a sled is what all of us pull in this sport. You're rolling in as a sled operator to pull a class. What are all the decisions a sled operator makes whenever they roll into that class? Obviously, you have data internally, but what decisions are made to make that show go, so to speak?
To make a show out of a show, to make a
Yeah.
show go.
It's what
Well,
you're supposed to do.
well, so you take a good look at what's been done. You know how much moisture's in the track. Some of it's you're guessing. You know, I mean, we go all over the country. Obviously, you know, we were in Tennessee last weekend.
no practice.
Yeah, there's no practice. That's a good point. That's a good point. But, you know, the dirt acts so different everywhere in the country. You know, you can go to Texas and be in the sand and you can't get enough water in a track in Texas. Well, eastern Texas, where it's a little bit sandy. And I guess for that matter, West Texas too. You come to Iowa where we got black dirt, you know, you can overwater that and make a mess out of that in a hurry. Are you guys there yet?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
I just didn't see no movement.
All the fans are captivated listening to this sled operator.
We're captivated listening to what you're going to say. Maybe about Tennessee dirt.
The Tennessee dirt, I think, is awesome. When they got the moisture right on, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. And it takes a lot of weight to get stopped down there. But man, if they get hooked up, they can really fly with the sled. You know, and it's.
Yeah, I think he was losing.
All right,
Uh-oh.
we had a little technical difficulties there.
Sled operator.
Adam brought up the Tennessee dirt. And
Sounds like a little bit of a
he
suppression.
was tapping out there for a moment, but
Yeah, it sounds like maybe we're getting hacked or something. I don't know.
yeah, I think Donnie will be joining us back here soon.
Donnie's a great dude. For anybody who don't know, I hope we can get a lot out of him. I think we could make a whole show out of this because I think the information that a sled operator can talk about. I talked to him the other night for about 2 hours on Monday night, about 1:30 in the morning, actually. And let me tell you, the guy truly cares about pulling. He's been doing it a long time. He understands what it takes to try to put on a show and the challenges that they're thrown at. You know, it's like in my comparison, if you're a house builder and or you're going to build a house, okay, let's say, and you call a house builder and say, hey, come build this house. And they show up to build the house and you're like, I'm going to frame it up for you.
Yeah,
right?
I did that.
I'm going to build a track. I'm going to build the foundation of what there's things right on. And they put the frame up the house and all that stuff. And then you have to finish it. That's what they're given, right? You could have studs out of place. You could be out of square. You could be you don't know what you got. And you just have to take on the task that's at hand. And I think they do a great job of doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way.
It's a very
good way to put that. The sled really and the operator is the cherry on top to make the event. So like if something's not right, it's going to show up there. But sometimes the foundation that got them to where they're at is not any of their responsibility. Is that a fair way to put it?
Could you imagine, Tyler, you building a house and you're putting up drywall and you're doing whatever, you go to drill holes or do whatever, and the studs aren't there.
Yeah.
It's out of square. Pieces ain't lining up. I mean, it's really hard to finish a good product if everything's not there. And it's such a challenge for a lot of these places whenever weather changes day to day. And Mother Nature hands you what they can. I know they try to tarp tracks and do stuff like that, but Mother Nature's water is different than the water that you're putting in it. And I think it affects the way the dirt reacts. And each time that these guys go to a certain place, they have to deal with it different every time. Agree?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
No, absolutely. Like they're like it's a thankless job in some regards, but those guys are as skilled as pullers in some ways because they like the show goes bad, people aren't looking at the pullers, they're looking at the sled operator or the track builder. The way it looks to me, the pullers are going to always pull, but
there's Donnie. You're
made
back.
it. We made it. I had to go to the pickup and get the cord and plug her in. You guys were long-winded at the start of the show.
Yeah, my bad. That happens.
So tell us,
got a
Donnie,
full
does
snipe with you.
technology, are you not a big technology fella? You're not into the internet and Facebook and
I'm pretty good. I'm getting good at Snapchat. I can work that pretty good, but that's all I'm capable of. I grew up
That's
just
good.
too much ahead of you to be into this techie stuff.
Well, you're doing pretty good.
Unfortunately, it's the world we live in now. We have podcasts now that reach thousands
Yeah,
of people.
Billy Beers calls it the Bean Show. I think that's funny.
Bean Show?
Yeah, podcast, Bean Show.
Billy would call us racist, probably, if I was going to guess.
Donnie, I think in the middle of talking about some of the decisions a sled operator has to make when they get to a show, you were talking the track. We may have asked a question or two, but like go through the decisions and how you fix a sled. Like what are all the variables, so to speak, on the sled?
Okay, so basically when you're looking at moisture of the track, kind of really look at what they have for track equipment too, as far as putting the track back together after a run's made.
Fuck. Oh shit.
He's gone again. Oh, man, it's just like the gods are just raining down on us and one of our most important guests. Like, I don't know, like we can't get a hold of him or something, but damn it, boys. This is good shit.
Good.
Why is he?
Maybe I have a feeling his phone went dead again. And
back to this house. I think it rained for 3 days. The wood's wet, and I don't think it needs to dry out a few days before the drywall gets put up.
Yeah. Well, we have a few more things ahead in the show.
Hopefully, maybe we can get a hold of him and let him know in today's technology that nice truck he's driving probably has Wi-Fi service that he can use.
He's probably like my father. My dad has a new pickup truck that actually has Wi-Fi in the truck, and he refuses to let me use it because he's like, no, we ain't going to use that part of it. I'm like, well, Dad, I can see the bars on your touch screen here. You've got pretty solid service. He's like, nope, I don't want anybody hooking into that. I'm like, oh, okay, Dad, that makes pretty good sense.
They're hacking they're taking our jobs.
The Chinese are going to know where my truck's at if we hook into the internet.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that.
I can see him saying that. That's funny.
I think we can, until he comes back around, maybe we can get on a couple other topics. I'm sure we can get Donnie back, or where y'all start?
Can we call the other guys up real quick? You think we can get them on there? Because I really want to make sure Donnie gets his stuff taken care of.
We'll get them back on there. I think so. Shifting gears, fans. Obviously, you all know we do this show with no practice, and we just kind of figure it out. So another topic we were going to touch on was a super stock class from Chapel Hill, particularly the winner, Brandon Hunt, who won Friday night and split it Saturday with Colin Ross. And Brandon has some other really cool news we want to touch on. Brandon, I think this is his first time out this year. Typically, those guys get going middle of July, but Brandon recently was appointed to probably a pretty big deal in the farming industry and the pulling industry. I'll let him explain a federal or a National Corn Growers Association, where basically they work with, I think, a lot of folks in Washington, D.C. So, Tyler, you got Brandon's number. Maybe we can ring him up and pick his brain for a minute.
All right, I'll do that. Let's see if he picks up, unlike Donnie last episode.
Can't see, Adam.
It's tire wrap on a tire.
Careful, you lose your hand.
I guess so.
Hey, Brandon.
How's it going?
Good. This is Tyler. We've got you live on the No Practice podcast. How are you doing this evening?
Wonderful.
You're doing honest? Is that what you said?
I said wonderful.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, I was going to say honest is an interesting answer. I've never had somebody say that. So Chase was just telling us about the National Corn Growers Association. Is that the correct organization you're a part of there?
That is the
Big
correct
deal.
one.
I got to say, sir, that's a beautiful suit. Did you own that before that headshot, or did you purchase that specifically for that headshot?
I don't know, Tyler. My suit game is strong.
Is it? How many suits you rocking? How many different ones you got in the closet?
6 maybe.
6. My goodness.
Damn.
You wear them quite often?
Well, more than I want to.
Have to
More
now.
than you want
I
to.
don't,
So
I don't mind the suit, but the necktie, that's a rough day.
yeah,
Most days.
I hear you. As a hardy gentleman, I don't prefer that feeling around my neck, but you do get used to it. And plus,
You do get used to
you
it.
look important, I gotta say. So tell us how you wound up looking so important, being so important, and what's involved in that, sir.
Well, important may be a stretch, but I'm a member of, I'm a officer in the Kentucky Corn Growers Association. So the way this thing works is kind of like, if we're going to compare it to tractor pulling, it'd be like Grand National, and then the state pulling circuit belongs to the national body, if you will. So Kentucky Corn Growers belongs to the National Corn Growers Association, and every corn producing state in the United States also has their own state organization and belongs to the national organization.
Okay.
So
that's
I'm an officer in Kentucky Corn Growers. I've been on that board for 3 or 4 years, and I sit on a committee for the national organization that concentrates on biofuels and ethanol. And so this is the first full year I've sat on that. So it'd be like the board of directors for NTPA, if you would.
Well, that's pretty important.
So,
how did you get elected into such a position?
Well, the action teams are actually voluntary. So you submit a resume and your name in during selection time for the action committees, and we have 4 or 5 different action committees that concentrate on different areas of corn production, whether it's communications or new uses or sustainability or biofuels. So you volunteer to want to participate in that, and they place you if they have a need, and if they don't, they most of the time they do. So very rarely do you get turned down. But
sure,
I actually did decide to run for the national board. So now, I guess comparatively, I'm on the board. I'm on the board would be like maybe the equivalent of WPI.
Sounds important.
Well, I don't know if it's important or not, but trying to take care of business to protect our industry and advocate for our policies that we need in corn production across the United States. And NCGA is a grassroots organization that we really have a lot of power because of our grassroots and what we're able to accomplish because of that approach. And it means something, because family farms are the highest percentage of farming operations in the United States. So that grassroots advocacy opens a lot of doors, enables us to have a lot of good conversations and advocate for the American corn farmer.
For sure. Adam's got a question here. Adam, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, so Craig Corzine, which I know you're good friends with, his dad was on the National Corn Growers Association. So I think you probably have talked to that man at some point in time.
Does that ring a bell?
I have. Yep, I have met Craig's dad and had limited interaction with him, but yeah, Illinois Corn's a very large body for that organization. So got a lot of good friends in Illinois Corn, and enjoy working with those guys. They do a lot of good things, and Kentucky has a really good relationship on the corn board level between Illinois and Kentucky, and we do a lot of things together and align on almost all of our details of what we need to be successful. So yeah, Kentucky and Illinois Corn are 2 cozy organizations.
Very nice. What makes you more nervous, going to one of these meetings or sitting in the seat strapped in, ready to kick some ass at Chapel Hill this past weekend?
Probably some of the meetings, depending on who we're talking to. I don't know that I get nervous in the super stock anymore. I get anxious leading up to it, knowing if you made the right decision. But I'm going into my 20 21st season.
Okay.
So I think it's a different nerve strapping in than it used to be, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe once you've driven a pulling, or maybe once you've been on the board there for 21 years, you'll feel the same way.
I think it'd be a little more repetitious. But we had going into some of those meetings with some people. I mean, we were in DC. I was in DC Sunday through Thursday of last week before Chapel Hill, and we've gone to some pretty high stakes congressional meetings with our congressmen and senators and people from the EPA. And
that sounds.
I was actually in the Eisenhower building beside the White House for a meeting on Thursday before we came home. So I get to do some cool things, but it's also some pretty high stakes meetings.
I would imagine. Chase, you said you had a question?
Yeah, Brandon, good transition there. So we don't talk about politics a lot in this show, but it was recently, I think Donald Trump came out and said that Dana White and the UFC were going to do a UFC fight in the lawn of the White House. Is that correct? Did I hear that right? I think that's news as of late.
The same headline you did, yeah.
Yeah. So will you be at that fight at the White House?
I don't know if I rank high enough to get an invitation to that.
Oh, okay. Chase, what were you going to say there?
I was going to say, with all these meetings you're going to and being in DC, representing the world of pulling, could you think you could negotiate a tractor pull in the White House lawn, or like the South lawn, whatever it is there? Is that something
the EPA would love that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if I ever get the opportunity to go into the Oval Office and have a meeting with the president about corn growing business, I will make certain that we bring up tractor pulling and see if we can get that done. But there's no guarantees that I'm getting called to the White House, fellas.
Well, you mentioned No Practice Podcast. It seems to normally help with some efforts, so maybe you can mention that, and they might change everything they're doing the next day.
If that's what it takes, I feel like I could solve a whole lot of problems if I got to go into the Oval for a couple hours.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable. So, in your position that you're in, what's one thing that has been the most beneficial for corn growers that you've seen, whether it started before your involvement, during, or what's currently up and coming?
Oh, I think ethanol production and increase in market acceptance has been the biggest thing that the Corn Grower Association over the last, 15, 20 years has been able to grow upon and expand upon. And you can domestically grind the product you raise and put it into stuff that's vertically integrated inside our own country. That's a win for the general public and for the farm gate. So today, I'm partial to ethanol, so I'm going to pick that. We could talk about several things that they've benefited our markets for, but ethanol is a very good success story, and looking forward to where we can expand that even more and capitalize on it even more for the American corn farmer.
So when you say ethanol, that's primarily like we are used to as consumers seeing an E85 at the pump. That's what you're referencing as a whole?
Or even E10 today. I mean, even when you pull up the unleaded pump today, it says that gasoline contains up to a 10% blend of ethanol in it. So,
and
unless you specifically go buy gasoline that is considered ethanol free, every gallon of gas today has some percentage of ethanol in it.
And as horsepower junkies, like if you're driving old vehicles and, you don't want to run race gas, everybody in the performance world knows with the E85, because of its higher octane, you can actually run more compression. It's better for boost without having detonation. I mean, there's a lot of hot rodders that really preach good things about the E85.
That's absolutely correct.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. Give us your best pulling memory over your 21 years.
Ooh. That's going to be tough. I think probably, can I have two?
Okay, you can have two.
I'm going to have number one for first. 2011, built a brand new tractor, took it to Louisville for the first pass and stuffed it in the sand.
Okay.
Second tied for number one would be somewhere around 04, 05. I pulled against Danny Dean in Chapel Hill on the land chart.
How'd you do?
That's awesome.
I beat him.
Nice. Well, speaking of tying for first, you tied for first this past weekend, didn't you?
I did.
So do you think if it came down to an octagon fight on the White House lawn, you versus Colin Ross, are you going to roll him pretty easily, or is he getting the upper hand?
It could be a battle of the heavyweights all the way to the end, and I think ultimately, because I'm a little older and wiser, I win.
Okay.
There you go.
I like it.
Gotcha.
I
So
like it.
was there a reason there wasn't a pull off this weekend?
Did you?
I don't. I made the full proposal to split because of the time we were running.
You just ran.
And the amount of people that were not currently in attendance in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And those motors were extremely hot. I made one hard pass, and I know Colin made a hellacious hard pass. So I made the proposition, hey, if we want to run, I'll run, or I'm content to split. And ultimately, by multiple decisions, we split. So
Multiple decisions. I like it. Did you know at the time when you proposed the split that Colin had a broken valve in his engine?
No, that was Friday.
Oh, that was Friday.
I was gonna
Okay,
say, are you
my
sure
bad.
that was Saturday?
Sorry about that. I'm a screwed up. I wasn't in attendance. I only watched it
He
live.
wasn't there.
Fake news. Fake news.
Yep. Fake news. My apologies. My
No,
apologies.
Brandon's okay. Brandon, tell us as a diesel stock, super stock puller, to make a second pass on one of those tractors, what does it take? I mean, because you guys are that is heat soaked. They're the top fuel of the diesel. I mean, you didn't do any justice for the Mitas pullers here because you made a hell of a run with those 2000s on there. But just kind of take us through on a diesel super what they are and how hard it is to run them twice and what you're looking at and really how it's important to try to find a winner and in the right length of track.
Yeah, so I mean, it's always tough, right? I mean, this is the age-old argument we've had in tractor pulling since I've been in it. Jay Fuqua and I beat our heads against each other and across Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama for 10 years doing the same thing, right? And ultimately, to me, if I can have enough time to get cooled down and at least make a decent idea that everything's okay, I'm more than willing to roll. But we're cooling them down is one thing. Getting the oil cooled down is another. Just to keep, as many RPMs as we're turning in the boost that we're pushing against those things and the weight of the parts, keeping that oil around them is as important as anything. Because, I mean, they can, any of them can fly apart at any time, but with as much cylinder pressure as we have and the heat we have, it doesn't take just a little bit for something to really come unwound. And, trying to minimize that for the longevity, in my mind, I'm all about competition and situational competition for sure. If it had been 9:30 and that place was packed out and Colin and I just laid down 380 foot passes, I think they would have ran us out of there if we didn't run again.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. They'd have chased you out of there with pitchforks.
1 in the morning, Colin and I just laid down the gauntlet. They're both hot. I proposed just because I thought it was a good idea for the time. We're both going to be in full recovery on Friday, and they had worked all night long to, or at least I'm pretty sure they'd worked all night long to get triple bypass up and running again. So, that was my proposal. Is Jay and I used to talk about it a lot. Some nights we ran them off. Tanner, Alabama, we'd run them.
Yeah,
if the situation created itself right,
for sure.
But it's hard to want to go hook them again with everybody leaving. I don't think the fan base was really educated that there was a pull-off distance and that we potentially had a case for a pull-off. And
sometimes
if they declared a winner,
even though sometimes you don't know,
everybody kind of bailed out.
Yeah, when did you find out there was going to be a pull-off?
Shut my tractor off, took my helmet off, stepped off the tractor, and the flagman said, "Well, I had to flag you both, so I think we're going to have a pull-off." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Oh, you're like, that's fun.
So,
tons of fun. Instead, you guys just cut the chair in half, and you each got half a chair. Is that correct?
That would have been pretty cool, but we ended up coming home one apiece. So,
one apiece. Well, that's pretty fair. That's reasonable.
There wasn't a few that were handed out, so.
I love it. Adam's wondering, what is the craziest thing you've ever seen a diesel super stock motor do? A lot of things running through your head, I'm sure.
Probably blow the head off of it forward. There's been a couple that's lifted the head in the back and the front cable caught it and just flipped it right over. That's probably about as violent as I've seen one be. You know, other than that, it looks like did a whole lot of swelling and blowing. You know, most of the time we don't blow. You know, you can blow sheet metal off, but most of the time we don't do that. It tends to blow holes in things, not necessarily lift parts out.
Of course, and tantalize our fans with the numeric values of the boost you guys are putting through those things.
Yeah, so I mean, Chapel Hill, and you're over 300. My tractor's over 300. Both passes there. 300
psi of boost in the intake manifold. We're not talking, you know, cylinder pressure. So we're talking with the piston all the way at the bottom, 300 psi, filling that cylinder, the intake valve's closing, and that puppy's coming right up. I mean, what kind of cylinder pressure do you think we're getting at that moment?
I wouldn't even know what to guess. I don't know. And I don't know that anybody ever has had a way to measure it.
Yeah.
But with as much water as we're injecting in those engines to keep them alive, it's an astronomical amount.
When you guys put so much water in them, you know, it's almost increasing the compression at that point anyway. People refer 100%. To them as steam engines at that point. How much diesel fuel do you use in a pass, and how much water do you use in a pass?
So this is going to roll right into the steam engine methodology because it burns twice as much water as it does fuel.
Yeah, seems like a steam engine. So it's a couple of gallons in a pass. Is that fair? Or?
Over 4 gallons of water.
Over 4 gallons of water.
I don't even use 4 gallons of fuel.
What if you used methanol instead of water? What would that do for things?
Get me a new paint job faster.
Okay.
I don't think there's any way we could keep the parts on it.
Probably generally frowned upon as well.
Yeah, it's been illegal for a long time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'm ignorant to the rules. So
I don't think Marvin would appreciate testing a water sample and having methanol in it. I think that would get you an automatic escort back to the trailer for the night.
Well, he doesn't know about this show, I don't think. So, you know, we're probably skirting over the radar.
Be nice to Marvin.
Yeah. Now, Marvin's our boy. I'm sure he'd sniff that out in a hurry. But yeah, unbelievable to think 4 gallons of water are going through that engine and out the exhaust in one pass. I mean, I agree. I think they should call this the steam engine super class is what they should call it instead of the diesel super.
Steam
they
stops.
Are, and that steam, you know, provides two different things. It's cooling and horsepower. So kind of odd that they both go together, but that steam makes horsepower, drives those turbochargers to make the boost, and also is a lifeline to keep that engine cool enough to where maybe it doesn't tear itself up every single pass.
I love it. And isn't it true that, you know, as mini rod pullers, we're all, you know, mechanical when it comes to injecting things into our cylinders? Is it true that they let you guys electronically regulate and distribute that water into the cylinders based on feedback from sensors, or is that a giant load of crap and I'm wrong?
No, it's definitely acceptable if you so choose.
Is that what you so choose?
So on one stage, so I've got multiple stages of water in my engine, and one of those stages is electronically controlled. So the data logger has the thermocouples that measure the exhaust gas temperature, and I've got parameters built into that data logger. Once it hits X temp, it's going to kick on another set of water nozzles, and if it falls below that, it cuts them off.
Interesting. Does it ramp it in, or is it just on or off?
It's on or off.
Okay, fair enough. I was always interested when I heard that electronics were allowed there.
The other two stages are ramped up based off boost pressure. So they're totally mechanical, set at two different boost stages. And those the water valves kick on at a given boost pressure. So one set of nozzles kick on at a pressure. The second set of nozzles kick on at a pressure. And then the last set of nozzles on my engine are controlled by the data logger with an electric solenoid. Once they hit a certain temperature threshold, they turn on.
That's pretty awesome for sure. All right, last question. EGTs max you've ever seen recorded on your data logger. What are we looking at?
Ooh, 2,500.
2,500. My goodness, when I blistered that piston this past weekend, I was a skosh under 1,100, and that thing was tapping right out. So
yeah, 2,500 has got a hole in the piston for me.
It's got a hole in the piston, but it probably runs really good right before it does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's Lane's main. You
Oh,
spark
yeah.
plug boys know that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So 2450 is probably generally the target.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
No, we typically try to stay somewhere around 1400, 1400 is kind of what I shoot for.
Yeah, let me tell you how long my shit would last at those temps. Not long. It'd probably look really cool for like 50 feet, though. Let me tell you, I'd be like, you boys see that
Your
whole
piss
shot?
symbol's not quite
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, last question from Chase here. He wants to know what kind of gear is being ran in a diesel super.
Oh, that's top secret intel there.
Yeah. Okay.
What range do we?
Okay.
What range are we talking?
All right. What kind of range? Give us a numerical range of like 4 whole numbers, this to this. Is that fair, or is that still too inclusive there?
No, I mean we're somewhere between
Colin Ross is watching.
Low
We just
15s.
Low 15. Wow, you didn't narrow that down at all. All right, Adam says he's got one last question now before we waste more of your time. Adam, take it away, sir. Adam,
What is your nickname? What is your nickname, and how did you get it?
Oh,
So I have a couple of nicknames. You're going to be more specific. What is my pulling nickname?
give us all your nicknames real quick.
Because I think I know where his question's coming from.
Oh.
So my Southern tractor pulling nickname is Precious.
Oh.
And that came from Nancy Hale.
Does that mean somebody that looks like Smeagol is after you? You're Precious?
No, she just always says, "How you doing, Precious?"
Oh,
and it
okay.
just kind of stuck. It started several years ago, and I kind of stuck. So several called me Precious, and then my nickname growing up, for the most part, and around not so much growing up, but after I've gotten nieces and nephews, is Bobo. So
okay, that's
everybody,
good.
most of the youngins call me Bobo.
Do they call you Precious Bobo at the National Corn Growers Association?
No. Nobody knows all that intel yet. We're not quite that intimate.
Okay, we're looking for that to catch on.
You tell Brandon, okay, that it's better than the nickname Muffin. And that's the same nickname that Nancy Hale gave me.
I was about to say, it came from the same person.
Hell yeah.
Precious.
Nan loves nicknames.
I mean, everybody does love a good muffin, though, I got to admit. So, all right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for continuing your perseverance in what I see as an incredibly challenging class in pulling, but it's always fun to witness, and for also doing your part on the level of the government for the corn growers, sir. Corn growers.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we can hold them together for the fort and put on a good show for the fans there. It's always a great place to pull, and I'm looking forward to going again.
Yes, sir. $24.99 on the EGTs. Make her happen.
You got it, buddy.
All right. See ya. Have a good evening.
We'll see y'all.
Bye.
Yep. Pretty cool. We have political influence in the pulling industry.
Surprisingly great guest. I'm not saying surprising. I know.
Oh, that was rude, Adam. That was rude.
That wasn't what I meant to say. I'm saying like we would have been in Donnie Bauer conversation, and we had to scramble to get that Brandon Hunt. You know what? That family does a lot. H&R AgriPower. If for anybody don't know, their family operates H&R AgriPower, and they service all of. I mean, hell, they have one right down the road from us here. So they bought up that dealership there, but they have, I don't even know, 4,400. I don't even know how many dealerships they have, a bunch. And they service the southern, Tennessee, Kentucky. I'm sure they're in Alabama. I'm sure they're in southern Ohio, Indiana. I mean, those guys, H&R AgriPower, sell Case IH. If you're looking for one, check them out because they're a great family. They're very professional. These guys show up at pulls. They are dressed like professional people. They do serious business with a lot of farmers in the Midwest. Check them out, man. Hell of a family.
For sure. For sure. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some breaking news, I believe, developing behind the scenes. And while we fully intend to get back to Mr. Donnie Bauer and what it takes to make a sled work and the ins and outs of it, I believe we've got some people checking in as well. Our third guest, if you will, Team Chaos, I believe they go with. And they're up to some activity. Look at that motley crew there. My goodness. We've got Shannon Leichner, Jeff Hurt. We've got Lindsay and Kevin. Guys, where are you at and what are you up to this evening?
We're just here in the shop. We've been working all day trying to get all these tractors back together.
Okay, and this appears to be a dyno room, yes?
Yep, that's been part of the process all day today, trying to get the motor that I ran Saturday night where we want it to be.
Okay, and as we know, Jeff's mini rod can be a bit of a slut for engines, as he has that pimp head on there, as that thing's been accepting multiple different bullets and power plants, and you guys switch them out like it ain't no thing, and I would imagine you've got a bullet pulled out of his tractor, presumably, shoved on the dyno there, or what are we working with right now?
Yep, that's where we're at right now.
The old redheaded stepchild.
Yep. It's the only one without an engine in it right now. So.
Okay, so before we beg you to do a dyno run live on the show, can you walk us through, I don't know whether I call it a comedy of errors or just a complete, how we got to the point of taking this engine, putting it in that tractor, then taking that engine that was in that tractor, putting it in that tractor, and just the complete switcheroo that went on there for those behind the scenes that don't know what all went down this past weekend.
We should have made a PowerPoint.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I mean, it's going to be hard to follow as we struggle following whose stuff's where.
Yeah.
But we show up at, we get ready to leave for Chapel Hill.
It all started with you, Jeff. It's all your fault. So just take the blame because you started the trend.
I'm hard on shit. It is what
I got him, Jeff, for that. Don't worry. I got him down for the interruption. That son of a bitch. Yeah, so here we see a very depleted Jeff Hurt, and it says, "Get 2 minis," they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the original meme.
Yeah, Jeff, tell us how fun that was. Oh, yeah, and here we see Jeff as well. That alcohol super is starting to sound pretty appealing.
Yeah, it was pretty tiring. We were working hard on the farm and that. We had a lot going on, trying to finish wheat and everything. We went pulling a Greenwich, and it ate a blower belt. And that I come back here and I'm like, man, I told Kevin, I said, damn thing felt like it was throwing the rods off. We looked and the teeth was all peeled out of the belt. I'm like, well, I guess I've never done that. Must be what it does. Bent the idler over and everything. Run the valves, looked at the filter, everything looked great. I'm like, well, we'll get to it after we get the wheat cut. We get back in the field, get spraying and that. We're getting ready to go and go outside to start it. And a buddy of mine, Zach Graff, is there helping. And first time he's ever run a starter, he hits the starter and it's hammering and banging and that. He lets off and panics. And I'm like, why didn't you just let off? No. So then we get looking and pull the plugs out of it, hit it with the starter, sounded good. I'm like, well, maybe the batteries are low. Okay. Charge the batteries, go do some other stuff, come back, put plugs back in. No, it's hammering. Well, the oil pan was cracked. I said, well, you know what? Let's roll the damn thing in, change the pan. We'll know if the crank's broke once we get the pan off. Well, we knew the crank was broke when we got the pan off. There was a big piece of it laying on top of the windage tray. So then it was claw and a paw, trying to figure out what we're going to do. So we get the little motor out, start switching everything over. Needed some fuel system parts. Had to build a bunch of bracketry and everything. We got everything going, got it running. Thought we were good to go, load our junk up and go to Chapel Hill. And
Engine
okay, so at that point, we're on engine number 2, right, Jeff? Because we had the brake crank engine.
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay. So you headed to Chapel Hill with engine number 2, and then what happened?
We go down there and look everything over, think we're ready to go pull and go to warm them up in the pits as we normally do. Number 2 cylinder's deader now.
Oh.
Double checking the timing and that. And I'm like, well, this sucks. Get looking, so we change plug, check rockers, change plug wire, and fire it. I'm like, well, this piece of shit ain't gonna run.
And at this point, set the scene. What time is it? What time of day? What time does the pull start?
4:30, something like that.
on Friday, right? On Friday.
That's no way to talk about an engine.
Yeah. So it's pull day, several hours from start time of the pull. And you're
Cody's
like, yeah.
How much time we got? I said, there's 2 hours, but I'm done. He says, no, you're not. He says, Kevin and I will get mine out of the trailer. You and Jason pull this one out. Let's switch engine. I'm like, okay.
But the only reason his was there.
Yeah, go back to why Cody was there. Yes,
Cody came to help the team drive a chaos tractor.
Was he there illegally? I mean, come on.
No, he was there. The tractor was in the
Joking,
trailer.
joking.
Tractor was in the trailer just as a
Spare
parts
part.
donor.
Yeah.
It came as the rolling engine stand. We need tires.
Cody, you whore.
We need that.
And,
So,
and not to interrupt, Tyler, you can give me one, but I think Kevin, didn't you tell Cody, hey, come up, just bring your tractor? We as a parts tractor. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
We talked about it. I asked him if he wanted to run that tractor. He said yes. And about a half hour later, I was thinking about it, and I thought, because we kind of figure if we need something desperately, we would use the white tractor for that. Well, he had one of his tractors at home. Just throw it in. Maybe we need a coil, a points box, something like that. Like we need something to grab it off of that.
Wasn't thinking of engine.
Everything about his training before we took.
So
Cody was thinking
he
running
loaded up
screen tractor
the
there.
Carolina parts mule, as it's affectionately known.
Little Carolina night train.
Yeah.
What is it?
And Cody was most likely thinking, I'll bring my tractor. They could probably use it on Saturday if we need. But he gets there no less later in the afternoon. And Jeff, you can carry on your story now. The started the engine wouldn't.
So we start this deal, and I says, hey, somebody go see if they can get a hold of Shelton, see if we can borrow the Hemi picker. I don't really know. All of a sudden, it just appeared. So I don't know whether somebody called them or what. All of a sudden, Hank and Spence dropped the Hemi picker off, and here we go. And we get it pulled out. Everything went great. It all kind of fit in, and it just,
all the tractors are pretty much
they're
the
very,
same.
very close to each other. We try to keep it that way to where for that reason.
Yeah, here we see an image of your tractor completely gutted regarding the power plant. Pull time is 6:30. It's 5:18.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
They tried for 6:30.
So, yeah, and then take us. You see, you got the motor dumped in it. What time was the official fire up after the power plant transfer? As we see the before
I don't
mentioned.
remember exactly what time it was, but it was 1 hour and 2 minutes from the beginning of the first bolt coming out to the fire of it, with it ready to run.
That's a pretty hot time, Jeff. I'm not gonna lie.
Hotter. It's pretty hot there too, folks. It's not 65 degrees. Okay.
Yeah, that's a place you got to change your shirt every few hours.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
So
Okay, so it appears that you took the power plant from the Carolina parts mule with the clutch bell housing and transmission. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And drive shaft because of or shielding because it wouldn't work from one to the other. So
Because Cody's shaft was longer than yours, Jeff?
I think it was shorter.
Oh, it was shorter. Okay, I understand.
I don't remember. I told him we're not going to hold them up and compare. I don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah. So you
you
dropped
get
in
all
the
this
motor.
changing done. You get all this changing done. It fires up. We're good to go. There was rain that settled in. The show got started late, and Meteorite class runs. And Jeff, I believe at the time, whenever you ran with the Little Bear tractor, it was one of the tractors that made what was a full pull, right?
It did.
And take us through the rest of Friday evening for you all. So we see this is the high point, right? I don't know if this clip has it, but obviously Jeff's very excited at the end of the run.
Yeah, and you'll even see Cody coming in.
Yeah, Cody come running out. I mean, I was just super excited for all the work everybody put in and to make a pass and everything come together and that. It was just awesome.
So full pull. We talked about earlier. The show ended. There was no pull off. Lindsay, you were also in the pull off. I wasn't mistaken.
I think you're working on Sled.
Kevin, how did your night go? I think that may be a good way to continue the story.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah, that sort of carries over into Saturday. But basically, before we went, I was trying to focus more on another
We're
engine.
we're about to beat Chase's interruptions.
That's true. But I found a few things in the filter before we left on mine. Checked the pan, pulled it off. Didn't see anything too major.
Yeah, it probably wasn't major.
Well,
Not a
it
big
turned
deal.
out major. But it focused on trying to get the white one together and going over Lindsay's, all that kind of stuff. So mine kind of got shoved to the side a little bit. But whenever need to do what we needed to do, but it's been abused several times, which is all my fault. But at about 200 something feet, it started to really hammer pretty hard. And I thought,
It'll make it.
we're running the points, so I guess we're going to keep going.
Well, naturally.
Idea, because you're never going to make it down to where you need to.
The mind of a tractor puller.
Yeah. You're never going to get down there, but you're still going to go for it.
Yeah.
So you go for it, and of course, then the rods start kicking out the side.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good news is they just come out the pan. They didn't come out the side. Block was good.
Yeah.
There's no window.
It's almost ready.
Yeah. The block is actually repaired. We're waiting on 2 sleeves, and then it's ready to go.
So you broke a rod though.
2
right?
rods.
2 rods.
Yeah.
Well, there's no sense in breaking just one. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
So it was. I would say as far as doing that, I'm pretty happy with it because we didn't really destroy too many parts in the process of doing it. The heads were fine. The cranks junk. Obviously rods and pistons are going away. A couple sleeves, about an hour's worth of repair on the block.
Yeah.
Even the cam survived. Everything else survived fine. So I shot it off at the end.
With that being said, I believe the cam's going in.
It's going in another one.
It's going in my new motor that Shannon's here putting together because we don't
have enough parts.
We don't have a 6 cam hub. We got a 3-bolt cam. And
it's like an episode of Junkyard Wars, but with quality parts, basically.
I like it.
Yeah.
So
at that point, Kevin, what did you do for a power plant for Saturday?
So at that point, we had 2 options. We either had, one engine underneath of the bus, which we carry, which is a short block, and build it out, or exactly, terrible. Or
let's start with you, Jeff.
The option was, there's 2 other options. Should have just said, you know what, we don't need to run again, collect the 15 points, which were ultimately where we ended up at. Terrible.
Yeah, no, that's not the move, though. We wouldn't be talking to you right now if you did that. Yeah.
So we put in an engine that it was completely untested, had no idea what to do with it. And Jeff tore it down, which was sitting outside all night. And we found Jeff. What's that?
I was looking for the broken valve spring.
I threw it away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I had
well, we might need to use that, Kevin. I don't know.
I was just going to show you.
You might need this weekend.
We give Kevin an engine with a broken valve spring.
Well, but that wasn't why we had to work on it.
No. We had a bad cylinder.
Hey, we have and so the decision was made. The original engine that came out of Jeff's tractor with the dead cylinder,
right,
went in, and which happened to it was being put in during a rainstorm. I think we've seen the clip here a couple of times. Back
that was that video of the red tarp. That was Lemke's broken tent. We took the top two, and they were working under that.
Yeah, it was
what's going on here.
One guy's problems, another's fortune, or whatever. Yeah. I mean, the tent got trashed from the rain and that, so they threw it in the trash. So we pulled metal out of it. We used the top, hide under, and put a motor together.
Yeah, Jeff out there looking like a cherry-flavored ghost, prepping Kevin's junkyard engine for Saturday night at Chapel Hill.
That's it. But that's actually not putting it in the tractor.
Who'd you steal the tarp from?
Parked underneath there in the rain. They were still putting it together.
Okay.
Before we put it in.
Adam, that's the Lemke awning that broke that they found in the trash can. They decided
Sorry, I had an emergency on my phone. I apologize if I wasn't paying attention.
I love it.
Had one putting the motor back together, and the reason it was apart was because somebody forgot to put.
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of somebodies out there. If you put a name to it, it sounds better. Because somebody's forgot a bunch of shit on a bunch of stuff. It
was a communication. It went.
It ended up with O-rings instead of rings.
Okay, so to be clear, Jeff was trying to run an engine with O-rings on the piston.
It sounds like they were checking for compression, not
We were,
Yeah.
and it was in my shop. We got busy farming that fall. Shannon came out to help put one together. I sent it with him. I did not communicate with him. He pulled number 1 out. I had number 2 out, and the rest is history.
But now it's got rings on it.
That's good. That's good.
Put it back together, put it in, but didn't have the right oil ring, so it had to come back apart again. Yesterday. It came back apart yesterday to put actual correct rings in the cylinder, so that dyno is back there.
Okay, so
a
now
bunch
that
of different
engine,
variations of oil rings because I'm confused.
Yeah, so it was set up for like a real, I don't know what you want to call it, a real. The ID was
It had
small.
a deeper groove and a lot thicker ring than what we had.
Gotcha.
with the
I
other.
don't know.
well, it was originally cut for a silicone O-ring, correct?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. But it
Not for the oil groove.
yeah, but it did survive. The O-ring did survive in there, which is surprising.
So
The
needless-
O-ring did survive. My,
Hey,
that
hey,
must
was
have
it
been
was
like
it
a-
orange or black?
It was
I
black.
don't know.
Oh, that
Was
was a
it
Buna or Viton high temp ring for
Good
sure.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. I'm gonna try them next week.
Needless to say, you all you got it all together. All the vehicles made it down the track. Lindsay, for whatever reason, all these stories do not involve you. That's why I think you're probably sitting better in any of them, right? Because you just don't even get involved in shenanigans.
I'm gonna knock on every piece of wood and say I'm okay.
She didn't even know where her tractor was going to end up.
No,
Yeah.
we brought all the wreckage here.
The misfits.
Yes, the Land of the Misfit Toys came here, and mine's actually sitting in Port Clinton, Ohio, with B-Bear, and Chaos is in North Carolina at Singletary Ranch.
Oh my goodness. So, Lindsay, you made a pretty solid pass there, and I don't think you came home with the chair, but we haven't heard from Mr. Shannon over there. Shannon, if Lindsay had to fight Renee Theobald to see who got the chair, who do you think would get it?
Why are you putting me on the spot? You know I can't answer that.
Come on, Shannon. It's a simple
That's family
question.
now, brother. You
It's
better
a
look
simple
out.
question.
I'm not going to answer that.
Well, I can tell you, if the chair, she'd let that go. But if it was a weed eater, a chainsaw, any leaf
Pressure
blower,
washer.
pressure washer
Yeah.
from any of those scooter products, yeah, there'd be a fight.
I got a leaf blower the second night. I'm happy.
She don't
Yeah,
sit.
I got a leaf blower over there that I won at Chapel Hill too with a second, or I won with a second. You know, I never got a win there, but yeah.
Yeah, in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the chair either, then, Lindsay? Is that correct?
No, I like the idea of splitting the legs.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
most
There's
men
four.
do too.
There's 4 legs, and there's
Yep.
only 4
I
legs,
didn't-
and there was 5 in that pull off.
Yeah,
I said something.
I said that wrong.
I didn't miss it. I said most men do prefer that. You know.
So, like the Lemke's tent, we can take a chair and just mutilate it and share it.
Yeah.
So, hey, turn around and sit on all 4 corners. I dare you.
Maybe we could have shared custody, Adam.
Yeah.
So it's
Maybe so.
pretty
I got
cool
mine.
here in this. It's not cool to break shit. I don't care. We're all competitors. We all want to beat each other's brains in. But I don't think anyone wants to see anyone break stuff. But you know, outside of showing the resiliency that went into all you all just getting down the track, I think this is a great story of just the pulling community. And I guess you all aren't officially teammates, but friends have friends' backs. And you know, Cody coming up as a parts tractor. It's a funny story, but you know, that's just one example of, you know, what this community and what these people in this community is all about, and having each other's backs and loyalty and friends, and knowing whenever I need
That's the
something, that
difference
person's
between this
there.
and drag racing.
Do what?
That's the difference between this and drag racing. They'll cut your throat rather than help you.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
And I generally think that, you know, there's a lot more good than bad in all we're doing. And, you know, whenever we were talking about this show, this came up. I'm like, dude, someone needs to hear this story about one team from Pennsylvania, one from Ohio, one from North Carolina. They all run the same class. They're all trying to beat each other, but they're all there when the other one needed them as competitors. So,
And there isn't a you that wouldn't do the same thing. And that's
No,
that's
everybody would. I truly genuinely think that anybody in pulling would give anything off their back. I mean, if you guys ever need anything, I know our shit don't match, but you could try it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
If you were in trouble and you needed something, I think any of you sitting in that picture, you can come to my trailer. I'll do anything I can to make sure we get a fair shake at it. You know what I mean? And that's genuine.
Die grinder, drill
Absolutely.
bits.
Yeah, we got die grinder and drill bits. We'll get it in there. It's fine.
And
Hey, the engine's longer. You just need a longer bolt.
That's fine.
And
You're going to need a shorter shaft too, Jeff.
Yeah.
And I would say this too about the mini rod class is pretty special. I don't know if it's, I'm the outside looking in, but like, I think we all generally like really respect one another and friends. And I don't know, I haven't competed in a lot of other classes. I just think there's a unique camaraderie.
We're talking about Chase. You pulling more classes than me and Tyler do. Shit, you're pulling
Well,
3 this year.
I said the mini rod class is pretty unique, and I think in just a tight knit group of people that all have each other's back, and I think this is a pretty cool story to let the rest of the world know.
It's a dangerous class that there's a lot of respect for people that drive them and people that own them and all of that. I mean, that's why it's the best class in all of tractor pulling.
So what's it going to take to fire that bad girl up behind you guys and let us hear it make some noise?
Turn around.
Explain
What's
where
that?
we are. Explain where we are and what we're looking at in the background.
Go ahead, Kevin.
So, yeah, we're here in the shop of chaos, and we
Great Wi-Fi.
primarily do the diesel stuff, but as Lindsay move out of the way. But we
Brett, get over here.
have set it up so we can do the Hemi stuff also. We've run only a few of them here, just our own kind of stuff, that sort of thing. And we just, trying things, seeing where we're at, like anybody would. So, and we in the group with and it's good, but really in the many that we are running with here, we all kind of have an understanding too that, and which makes it fair is if, say, I run Jeff's engine and I damage it, I go out there, do something, he knows I'm going to fix it. Same thing for Jeff, vice versa, Cody, any which way. We all know that we're going to take care of business and make sure everything's done right and that nobody's slammed. And that's the biggest thing amongst all of it. Then it makes it a lot easier, simpler, and with the goal of just getting everybody down the track. So
does that work in the diesel super stock business and the pro stock business? I'm just asking. I'm curious.
Yeah.
As long as you got 80 acres to trade.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking. And shit, that's a hell of a deal if I'm looking at the situation.
Oh yeah. Well, it works out amongst us, and we try to keep this side of it as our hobby. This is our nights and weekends type of thing. So whether we're building stuff or Jeff's farming or selling 100 steel mowers or whatever in the world is going on. So, that's kind of the way we try to work it. And so, but like today we're trying to get that to actually run. And I realized like how bad of a position Jeff put me in for Saturday night for failure. When we ran it today.
Thanks, Jeff.
I told him there's a reason I did not want to put it in until it sat in that room.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We've
Just take
almost
more
got
fuel.
what we
Just
had.
take more fuel out of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're about 6 gallons short of where we started down there.
Yeah. So it's
Damn, I don't have 6 gallon in my tank.
So you guys have been there dynoing the engine that started out in Jeff's shops, took a day off, went in Kevin's tractor. Now it's in your dyno to get it to go for this weekend. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so we're kind of, mine got this, well, I'll call it our spare engine that got finished up to go in mine. Mine's together. It still needs to get fired up and run. We got to look over Cody's yet because it got put back to its original shape. A few wires, things like that have to go back on and run valves, just maintenance. Those 2 tractors aren't too bad. And then this one is a little farther off. But it's getting better. I mean, we haven't blown it up yet.
Hey, let's take a stab at it.
I get you, but what do you think? Do you think it's the number of strokes per minute, or is it the length of the stroke that matters?
Well, we're
It's the motion
working
of the
on
ocean.
that. Well, we have had limited
Hey, Jeff, those crankshafts last longer if the stroke's a little shorter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This one is.
Well, sure.
As if yet has not impressed us, but it's getting better.
Yeah.
All right, fire that
gear
baby
ratio.
up.
So, yeah, what's it going to take for our fans to get a live look into a dyno session right in their face here? Is that something that can happen, or are we off limits tonight?
As long as Jeff's okay with it, we can do it.
If Donnie's internet's going to cut out again, then yes.
Okay.
Jeff,
Hit it up.
if something breaks here, who's responsible? No Practice Podcast or you?
You.
Oh,
Do it.
Are you pushing the throttle?
I can't from here.
Yeah, get her done.
The way I've been pushing it, ain't
Run
gonna run too hard.
No.
All right. Let's hit it.
All right.
Oh, guys,
Fans,
this is an
Tyler, tell the people
exclusive
what they're getting ready
look.
to see.
This is good stuff right here. It doesn't get any better than that.
How much timing? How
We're
lean
getting ready
on
to see
fuel?
a dyno session live on the No Practice
What are we doing
Podcast.
here?
All right, I think they
how
said
many
it was
RPMs
about
we pulling?
I think it's about 26 to 27 degrees timing.
Shannon talking, I can't tell it's so loud. What we got? So you say 27 degrees of timing?
I
Tyler?
think 27
26?
degrees timing. They're flowing about 14 and a half gallons of fuel at about 9,200 RPM. That's my guess.
I love how they went from no Practice
9,200
Podcast-
was what we'll get up to here, you think?
That's
they
my
went from
guess. Yeah.
podcast mode to dyno mode.
Yeah, these guys were prepared. Look at Jeff there.
Jeff is always prepared.
Fans, you're getting ready to see history. I'm not sure this has ever been done on any podcast in the world.
Oh, keep alive.
Live and serious. So I see the cameras from one side and the dyno cells in the back. It looks like, huh?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
We're head on shot right here.
Yeah. If this thing
pretty cool.
blows up, this is
Fans?
going to be record views.
It won't blow up. These guys are pretty good. They'll get it.
I
They're getting
say we're gonna
tuned
get to
in.
80. We're gonna get to 8,500, Adam. That's not bad.
85.
Yep.
Oh, look at that bad girl.
Bend over on the pipes.
Damn, it's a long run.
Oh,
I'm gonna say
good long
that
run.
went to 8,700.
Oh, I wish we
I'm
could see
sticking
the
with
vitals
85.
on that thing.
85. You think?
I'm saying 85 still, as if I can
See,
hear it.
It's a short stroke motor. I think you need to race her up there to about 9,000. What's up? That's a good run.
Holy shit!
Jeff just took a hit off of that. Damn! Look at that.
Guys, what do you think? How'd she do?
It sucks.
How many RPMs?
What's that?
How many RPMs?
I think it was only 83 or 400.
Oh, fuck! I was off by.
Yeah,
Sorry, excuse my
it's
language.
fine.
It's off by 500. Hey, it's a
So-
short stroke engine. Take her up
Yeah.
a little bit more, boys.
It quits before then.
Is it
Does it?
is
Yeah.
it still climbing or did it
Put some
taper
stiffer-
over?
Put some stiffer valve springs on it.
I don't think that's the problem. 680 on the seat's probably enough.
It needs O-rings.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs
I'm-
O-rings. I agree with
To
Lindsay.
free it
Maybe we
up,
could
I
put
guess.
I want to commemorate you all. You all just did one of the coolest things I've ever seen in live
That's awesome.
podcasting in my life. This was not scripted.
Chase said it was going to blow up. I said, no, it's not.
I did not say it would blow up.
Fine. We just keep drilling the freaking pills off.
I wish you could
That
smell.
was pretty amazing, and you all just made it look so easy. Like there could be people tomorrow say, "Let's build one of them dynos," because there's a lot more that goes into it than what you just saw. You all just
We're
very
doing it
fast.
all day
So
affair.
that's a water break dyno.
Started
correct?
last night on that process.
Is that a water break?
Yeah, water break. Yep.
Water break dyno. So
So,
you can control how many RPMs per second it accelerates to kind of simulate a run down the track, correct?
Right. So we started at 5,500 and an upswept from there. And I forget what our acceleration rate, 200 a second, I think.
What's the highest you've taken a Hemi on the dyno?
I don't know what you're saying.
What's that, Adam?
What's the highest you've taken a Hemi on the dyno?
Well, we fell off at 80. We were stopping.
That isn't what I asked. I asked how high you've taken it.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Tyler, when you guys dynoed some, what's the highest you took one at Darren's dyno?
Oh man, back when we were running our 484 short strokes, I think we poked one close to 10 grand or maybe over before. We've also grenaded stuff there, and we took out his glass into his dyno cell, and Bruce's face was bleeding before while dynoing engines. So we got pretty experimental there.
Yeah, and most of the power stuff's in the sevens or so. So
it's really crazy if you dyno engine to where the power is and where you run it.
Yeah, I mean, where you think it ought to be and where it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of blows people's mind. Like, if we truly ran where it made the most power, people would be surprised. Like, it's not what you think.
Well, and even today, like where it's at now, we're maybe not happy with where it's at, but yet there was a lot of ground was gained from where we started, and what we thought where it should be to where it is now.
But see, this is a sport of pulling. It's really crazy, and this gets into a good subject in my mind. So you get a big stroke engine, and it makes a bunch of torque, right? And then you have a short stroke engine that turns a bunch of RPMs. And finding the equilibrium of kind of where they cross paths and what kind of gear ratio it takes to make those things happen, that's what makes the sport great. Because you take Chase, for instance, runs a shorter stroke than some of us. It turns more RPMs. You guys run a bigger stroke than even I do. And I'm kind of, in between, right? So in trying to make all those setups match each other, you can say what you want, but, I mean, they all do what they're supposed to do at the RPMs that they do it at.
And it's strange. We found even with the pros and stuff, we've had some that are longer stroke, shorter stroke, whatever you want to say, and we've found what you would think would be something short stroke would make more horse, less torque. We found actually the opposite happen. So it sort of depends. They all kind of end up where they want to be,
right?
And even today showed that again. What we thought we'd see out of what we are running isn't exactly.
So if a guy shows up and says diesel pro stock, John Deere to International, what are you doing? Because they're both vastly different, right?
Sure.
What do you? I mean, obviously, you guys do the international stuff, correct?
Yeah, Deere International both. Yep.
Yeah. What are you telling guys to go? If a guy goes, Kevin Campbell, I'm building a tractor. I'm gonna stick whatever engine you tell me to put in it. What are they putting in it?
I mean, our go-to is the international stuff.
Okay.
That's our bread and butter. But
hell yeah,
we don't really see from one to the other much difference power-wise or anything like that. You're going to get there it's the same as these motors behind us. You're going to see one with a smaller bore, longer stroke, or vice versa. And you're also limited on the Pro, even the Super, you're limited fuel and air-wise. So same thing here. You're limited to blower and everything. It's an air-limited deal. So, there's a lot of power is made on the Pro and Super fuel and air-wise. So you have to make everything else very durable to be able to stand it, but those are big key items in making good horsepower.
Yep. I'm trying to give our diesel fans a little bit of a hey, you know what I'm saying?
And even like the diesel super stuff, it's to Pro, they're not far apart either power-wise. They're different boost pressure, different cubic inch, things like that, but they're within 500 horse of each other.
Gotcha.
So how many times have you guys looked at Jeff today and said there's no replacement for displacement?
We don't believe that's the issue at all.
We haven't gone there yet.
We didn't build this motor. This is a motor that.
This was a Pro Mod come out of Adam Clem Oaks Pro Mod drag car.
Yeah.
You need probably some more squeeze. If it ain't making power, they don't have enough compression in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What he said.
Yep.
It had a screw blower on it, so it's low on compression.
Yep. Maybe.
Well, and you're going to have that. I mean, it's just, but a gear ratio, it still comes down to RPMs versus a tire speed based on the gear ratio. So I mean, that's what's great about pulling. There's different ways to go about doing it, and it's obvious when you go out to the track and you hear guys. Some engines. Doug Theobald just won the unlimited class with a 3-engine tractor at Chapel Hill. Where you're coming off of Tomo, where Billy Beers won the pull with a 5-engine tractor. You see sometimes in the unlimited class or whatever, even the modified class, 3 or 4 engines, it's a setup. And that's what makes the sport great. That guys have different ideas and they work different.
Today's combination doesn't work tomorrow.
No, it doesn't. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Agreed. So we've been talking about Jeff. Obviously, everyone knows Jeff is Kevin. They're Chaos, former guest, No Practice Podcast. Your wife, Lindsay, who doesn't tear anything up or get in the swap meets with you other guys, is a fellow mini rod competitor. Sitting pretty. I think you're second in points right now, right?
Tied for first.
Tied for first.
Okay, well, you're right there with our cohort here, Adam. Take us through the other gentlemen there. Give us we obviously know they are, but for fans, who we have there with you. We can start with the gentleman to Jeff's left, and then I think we want to end with the gentleman to Jeff's right.
Yeah, who's not in the picture that's there?
Do a formal intro, Jeff. Do a formal intro. The guy to your left, and then let's finish with the guy in the middle.
Shannon.
Jeff, your left's the other way. Oh no, no. Hang on, you're mirrored. Do the Shannon. Tell everybody who Shannon is. Okay. This
is Shannon Leister. Everybody knows Shannon. I got the dirt slinger. His dad has the dirt slinger mod. Shannon helps us. When we have disasters, we call Shannon. Shannon, we need help. Can you get here? We got to put motors together. We don't have time to do it. We don't have this, that. Shannon comes and saves our ass. And he's here whenever we need him. We really appreciate it. He keeps our stuff going. Got a hell of a program. He's a damn good friend, and wouldn't trade him for the world.
Oh.
Don't cry, Jeff.
Yeah. Kiss.
Shannon, what can you say about the guy beside you and this teamwork and everyone
you guys are a hell of a team.
That you're hearing like this whole last week and what you've seen here and coming in and this is a great story for pulling. Just give us your take on it all because you typically are helping your dad.
I love being a part of anything with Jeff. I mean, we go back so far. I got to be good friends with Kevin and even Cody Singletary. It's fun to be a part of all of this. Because, I mean, when it comes down to it, we're pulling because we want to compete. But, man, it's just fun having good friends. And we can go anywhere in the country and you can call somebody in any state almost anymore. It's just, I don't know. These guys are a lot of fun to be around. I like helping them. Told Jeff a couple of years ago if he bought a Mini that I'd help him all the time, and pretty much been there ever since.
He sure lived up to it.
Looks like you're helping him a lot right now.
I love it. Yeah, and even when I say like, oh yeah, Bruce and I got his tractor put back together. I mean, Shannon has been up here and taught us and helped us on stuff. And I was even making a couple of phone calls to Shannon. What do I need for this? What do I need for that? And he gives me a quick answer and sends me on my way to get back to work. So props to Shannon for that for sure. Jeff, tell us about the other gentleman sitting next to you.
Yeah, the main guy of the show. We need to hear about this.
The guest of the hour.
This is my main man, Brett. He's my middle child, and he loves tractor pulling. He's the best help you can get. He can drive anything. He's awesome at helping us. I mean, he's torquing the headers, torquing the pan, torquing all the stuff that he can pull on and that. And he's great at getting us tools.
He knows it all.
He does.
Jeff, the boy's running around and he's saying good luck to people, and he's a very great raised boy. I really appreciate your family running around, and you've raised some really good kids, man. And it shows, what I mean? He's a good boy. He's
worried about you guys talking good about him and that.
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
And one other thing to add, he does this and does that, but most recently, Jeff and Kevin and Lindsay and I were in Greenwich, Ohio. He also straps the vehicles in the trailer.
Oh yeah,
he does. And I don't check him when he ties my tractors down. I don't check him. I don't have to. He's got it.
What was your nickname for him? It was,
Would not have made Chapel Hill without him and Lane's help.
that's amazing. And tell us your Brett. Tell us how old you are. Tell us.
Yeah,
You
come
have
up here
twins?
close to the camera, Brett. Come up
Look
here
at this.
close.
Look at this. Get up here.
I'm 10.
But
You're
no,
10?
who are you? Tell us your full name.
Brett Jeffrey Hurt.
Oh, middle name Jeffrey. That's a good sign right there. Brett, tell us one thing you learned today helping those gentlemen in the dyno room.
You didn't have to learn much. You already knew most of it.
You were helping. You were telling some of us what to do.
One thing, Brett. What do you think?
We got a time limit, okay?
Give us some rapid fire questions.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
the thing is he's the next generation coming up through.
Hey, I want to know,
That makes a big difference.
what did they have to do after they were playing in the mud puddles to get into your motorhome? I just want to know, because I saw y'all, because it rained like hell at Toma.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I was a little like, stay out of Kevin's bus.
Yeah, I know. It was like, you know what? You got to let the kids play. You know what?
He's
They're
like, no, come
definitely. You know what? You know what? There'll be more memories made at those pulling tracks doing what they did than they probably get at home. And I think that the pulling family of all of us, like, we see the kids running around. I love them, all of them. They're good kids, and they're raised by good parents and good people around them. So, like I said, Jeff, you got some really good. I hope my kids one day, if I can keep pulling long enough to have my kids old enough to run around the pits, I hope that they learn something, from guys like you guys.
Brett, I have another question. We talked about everything that happened from the shop last week when the crankers broke up until now. What is the craziest thing you've seen that you want to tell fans about?
The craziest thing I've seen is probably the crank snapped in half.
What did your dad do when he saw that crank? Give us an immediate reaction. Because I know you impersonate your dad. What did he do when he realized that crank was broke? Can you reenact for us?
I wasn't really there for that.
Oh, damn.
Well,
Can you imagine what your dad did?
Yeah.
he was helping Pop on the generator at that time, and when he came out,
Okay.
he asked, he's like, "What's going on?" I said, "I think the crank's broke." And then I called Kevin. We're talking, and we roll it over and this and that. And he comes back. So is it broke? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. It's too smooth. And you could. I had pulled the rockers off and adjusted, or retorqued the heads and adjusted valves. You could rock it, but the bar never.
Jeff, they run when the crank's broken. They really do. My brother-in-law broke a crankshaft at Bowling Green one year, and the engine runs. It's not very good running, but it does run.
It hammered so bad, but even rolling it, you couldn't. I could rock it back and forth. Could not tell it was broke. That's
crazy. It should have ran. Somebody did probably let off the start a little too earlier. It would have been cool to see it run because it's really interesting how they kind of move across the ground with a broken crankshaft.
I mean, we pulled the cover off the bell housing, looked in there because I'm like, is the flywheel falling off or what's going on? But
Right.
We asked Brett to impersonate his dad because those of you that live under a rock, my man Brett went viral on the internet a couple of weeks ago by doing a reenactment of his world famous dad who likes to get out all of his vehicles very fast. And I think we have that clip here to show in the podcast. Backstage.
This is how fast my dad can get out of the tractor.
It never gets old. I was literally laughing.
Where did it
go? After I would just be laughing with random people. What are you laughing at? And I'm like, look at this shit. It's like this. Brett,
where did it come from? I mean, you're out of that son of a bitch fast.
Brett, how many times did you practice that? Was that an on the spot moment? Like there's going to be millions of people watch that clip. How did that come about? Or is it's just natural being Jeffrey Hurt's son?
Was it natural or
it's okay.
Yeah. Practice that.
Use your words.
Well, I've done it
No practice.
4 or 5 times, but
Generational thing.
Never in front of a camera.
You learn from the best.
Generational talent right there.
People are going to be showing that clip the rest of your life, and it'll never get old. So thanks for giving us all that good moment there, Brett. And I can't wait. I think every year at Greenwich Pool, I think it needs to be monumental that you do a reenactment in like. Well, I'm going to vote for that. You agree to that deal, Brett?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
deal. Next year,
right.
Greenwich reenactment. Brett Hurt getting out of the mini rod like his dad.
I think in 6 years we're going to see him do that on the track, and I'm looking forward to that.
I think we should all get together after a few beers and line all of our tractors up and try it. Do the Jeff Hurt challenge.
Ooh.
Hey, I need to take this tractor that's sitting way over there.
Yes.
It's got the sheet metal around it. Let's try to get out of that one.
Okay. I'm down.
The Jeff Hurt challenge. That's actually a good idea. Maybe we set his trend here for the next few mini ride outings. Hey, I'm Adam Kessler tonight in Fort Recovery. I'm Jeff Hurt, and get out as fast as you can. I think that's a good idea.
I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it that fast.
Well, somebody's gonna pull a hamstring.
I think I can. I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
Yeah. So,
Tyler, is that NTPA rules or PPL rules?
Well, I got to have the PPL trim so my feet can be so dangerously close to the ground so that I can get my feet there so quickly.
The big, beautiful brake pedals.
hey, if y'all have any suggestions on anything that needs to be changed, just mention it. People do watch this podcast.
Easy.
Too soon?
It's a sore subject for some.
Come on, Adam.
Oh, dude. Hey. Oh. Not saying nothing.
I was on. Hey,
That guy must have been one of them damn tractor pulls.
I'm more suppressed than Hunter Biden's laptop right now.
No!
I'm so afraid to be standing beside you.
Well, we
just
said
saying,
we're
brother.
gonna keep this show around 2 hours tonight for the courtesy of.
There's a little bit after this last event. Yeah. I didn't even realize it until I put it on today. It's like, son of a bitch.
Tyler's got to hit the road to Goshen tomorrow. Obviously, you all are there working. I'm sure y'all are going to hit the road for recovery tomorrow sometime. Is that the plan?
We hope so. I mean, we're not really done in there, so we've got to make. I guess we're really down to decision time as
I
far
think
as.
it's going to become a spare after that numbers.
Okay, so the answer is we're now going to put together another
Can
engine.
you carry that out there? Will it still have Wi-Fi?
Wait, don't take Donnie Bauer's truck because it doesn't have Wi-Fi either.
Yeah.
Just change over to phone.
We'll switch
Um,
over.
yeah,
Go show them.
Yeah, we can go over to the other shop and show you where we're at.
Yeah.
All right, let's risk it. If we lose service, it is what it is. But quick, show us what you're up against.
If we lose service, we love you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing the dyno. It's amazing, but hopefully we don't lose
Thanks for
service.
having us. Love you. Appreciate all.
Hey, you guys too. Hope you guys have a safe trip. I hope we get to Fort Recovery safe, and we'll see you there. We'll have some beers and stuff. Good luck to y'all.
Thanks for having
And then
us.
what? Hey, Shannon, hang on. Are you driving in the unlimited class this weekend? I saw in the lineups. Is that correct?
Once you have to enter,
We lost you.
Yeah.
That's at
Donnie Bauer.
Is that Hack?
Nabby. But when Jeff and Kevin called and they wanted help, I canceled that and knew I was going to be out here. And I was like, hey, I might as well go to Fort Recovery and help these guys this weekend. Well, if I'm going to go, why not take Matt's tractor and try to make a pass? So I called Matt, and he wasn't interested in going because he was still going to the Ozarks. So I was like, well, I'll just take it if that's all right with you. He goes, well, yeah. So he goes, I'll enter it. So he entered it. Well, I don't think I'm going to get back and I don't think I'm going to be able to load it and get back here in time. And I got to go to Bill Voorhees and do a couple motors for him at his shop before Fort Recovery.
Boris.
Be a little busy.
Well,
He's got two that need to be, but I dropped one of his off on my way out here, and I'm going back there tomorrow sometime and start on his other two motors so he can have them ready for Rockwell.
gotcha. So we'll see. Nothing
It was
else.
long this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think if we can switch over to the phone, I can work my way over to the fab shop so we can see what we
Yes,
got.
Mr.
Backstage, can we swap them over? There we go.
I can only imagine the chaos you guys have going on currently.
On the fly.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
That's
So-
good audio.
We are in the process of working on a new clean room and a mezzanine stuff in the shop. So a little bit of stuff's moving around. But as far as Cody's tractor goes, that's its current condition there. So
the
it's
Carolina
actually
parts mule sitting
the
there.
parts mule. Yeah, it's back in mostly one piece to run this weekend.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yep. So that's that one. Lindsay's tires got sharpened, and we got to work our way over to our other shop so that we can see where the rest of the stuff is. So
Of course.
apparently, the executive decision was made in order to get rid of that engine on the dyno because it was lacking a decent amount of horsepower.
Yeah, tell us what it made for numbers real quick, Kevin, while Jeff isn't here.
It's still, no, it's more than that.
Yeah, tell us.
It's 400 horse short.
That's quite a bit. That's a lot of Briggs and Strattons.
Yeah. That is a lot.
I think we lost them.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. Man, Donnie Bauer must have
Donnie Bauer got us again.
Somebody with a signal. Oh, here we go.
There he is.
Here, put the door up, please. Hold on. We're coming back.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? They can put somebody on the moon, but you got to open a door to get a signal.
Oh, yeah, we got to open. Well, it's terrible. It's a metal building. Can you see us okay now?
Oh, yeah.
you got it.
Great.
Yes,
okay.
You're great.
So there we go. So that has to go in that over there.
Yeah.
Which is not in really good shape because, well, there's no parts.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
Yeah, all the
It's not quite in.
sorry, yeah.
I was
Yeah, all
going to
the parts
say,
over there.
well, are the parts there?
The parts are here,
Oh, that's
but
good. That's good.
most of them. But yeah, blocks there, cranks in it. Heads, sir. Sorry, it's hard to tell where I'm at looking at. Heads over here, front drives over there. Other parts are over there, which camshaft doesn't even fit in it.
Yeah.
It's
Get the
fine.
grinder out. It'll be fine.
Right. It'll be fine. Mine, I tore it down because I thought I had some rear end and planetary issues. Everything checked out. So we tore it down to nothing, and it's in the process of getting finished. And then Jeff's is in a state of,
Need.
Yeah, needs a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
the funny part is Jeff made Jeff is continuing with that vehicle right there, right? Like he's in the top 5. And
Don't worry, the boys. They're calling for rain. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So that vehicle had a good showing in Chapel Hill. It just has no engine now.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, the Carolina parts mule engine went back over to Cody's.
Of course.
That one got a new engine.
Yeah.
And so hopefully it'll be okay. And then then the rest of
It'll be all right. You guys will be fine. Hey, the pool doesn't start until late. You're good. Okay.
Right.
You got 2 days.
And we're actually working in our fab shop because the shop's full of everything else that actually is work stuff. And this building has air conditioning in it too. So
that's
we don't
positive. I have a window unit
flat
in this building. I feel like
the part that cracks me up about this is, as Kevin says, the mini rods are kind of just nights and weekends for fun, So there's a couple of real peasants out in the world that for fun, they go do like trivia at a bar or like maybe bowling, or if they got a real sense of adventure, they'll hop on a kayak. This is Kevin's nights and weekends kind of fun, just ripping dyno pulls on the podcast. Like, it's got to be hard to stay humble if you're Kevin Campbell, to be honest.
Well, the funny part of that is about a week or so ago, I was maybe not in the best of humor, and Lindsay asked me, I was maybe a little mean and mad, and she said,
sport doesn't do that to you.
I was not pleasant. And she said, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And I said, because we're too dumb not to.
Yeah.
It's fun.
All his
And we're
fault.
too dumb not to.
I love it and admire it. And there's a couple of real schleps out there that to get a rise, maybe they purchase a Rubik's cube, and Kevin just makes pulls on a dyno at 10 o'clock at night. But I have full faith if you guys keep Mr. Leichner fueled up with ice cold Mick Ultras, he'll work till about 2 or 3 in the morning.
Hey,
And
you can't say that on this show.
Bush lights. Keep them fueled up with some bush lights. Keep the O-rings out of the pistons, and without a doubt, you guys will be on the track kicking ass at Fort Recovery. We have no doubt in you. So,
well, the worry I have is that about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Jeff's going to come up with this idea that, like, you know what? Since we're putting this engine together, we better go ahead and put that on the dyno before we're going to run it.
No.
Here's a whoa. That's happening.
Yeah.
Hey, please pull up the picture of Jeff again. Please pull a picture of Jeff up. I thought alcohol super socks were fun.
Yeah.
Most people already know, but I don't have much quit in me.
Look at the look in that
Jeff has
face.
been in his shop with a way better looking face than that when he's working on those supers.
Yeah.
It's been worse.
Yeah, I'm going to say. Hey, and Jeff, how about the parts availability?
Very. Going to Kmart.
Yeah, you go to Kmart.
That always says.
Or alcohol supers.
Well, if you run into a pinch, you can just be like, yeah, Kevin, I need a spare cylinder head. He's just like, oh, God, let me fire up the machine and start whittling one out. Not a problem.
And then there's that.
Yeah.
An unstoppable force.
Several times this afternoon. His guys are motor plate. I'm like, hey, could you just cut me a slot in there? That way, if this motor goes in Cody's, we don't have to use drill bits and die grinders.
Yeah.
Go back and forth. I said, it'd be nice to have a slot there for the steering shaft.
Very reasonable. Very reasonable. Well, I feel like we should let you guys get back to work. We can't thank you enough for your time, and especially that dyno pull. First ever for the No Practice podcast, and I don't know if that will ever be topped. I'll be perfectly honest.
Live.
Yeah. You all are the best. Love all you. Be safe. Shannon,
be careful.
We don't see you in Fort Recovery. Safe travels.
We're working on dragging his ass there. He's got work to do. He's got to go work on Bill 4H motors and that.
Yeah.
And, we're not allowed to keep him too long, and if we do not kept him long enough.
American Thunder.
Hopefully we can. Maybe him and Bill can both come down there and have a couple beers with us and at least enjoy the poll, and then go back and finish Bill's stuff.
He's still going to go home and get some.
Well, I would say you'll be in bed. Like, you definitely, if Shane doesn't show up, you'll be screwed. But you still got Brett. And Brett's all that matters. So
yeah,
absolutely.
The best help
Brett's
in
bear hauler.
sitting here.
Yep, cool.
Brett's
Thank you
bear
all.
hauler.
Much love. We'll
Thank
see
you
in a couple
guys for
days.
doing what you
Safe
do for the
travels.
sport. We appreciate it.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Good luck,
Happy
guys.
to do it.
Cheers.
Good luck. Hope everything goes good for them. That's a hell of an undertaking. I couldn't imagine doing that right now.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Tyler, you're leaving in the morning. I'm leaving sometime tomorrow, but shit, we got one day away from where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. I love it. That's they made that dyno session look very casual. Like, that's not something you just throw together. So
Yeah, that wasn't their first time.
It was almost like they did it before that.
Yeah, I would say so.
That was not a request. They did that on there for us.
No, they brought it up and said, "Hey, you guys want to do a live dyno pull? Hell yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, for sure.
For them. That was pretty good. You know what? That's a really good bunch of people right there. I'm telling you. I'll tell you what. Jeff makes some damn good crab legs.
Crab legs, yeah. He's a cook. He's a low-key good cook.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he's up there in Port Clinton, which is northern Ohio, and they do a lot of fishing and all that stuff. But I'm telling you what, we were at Nashville, and he's like, I'm telling you, I get it from whatever, and he throws a little butter and whatever in the pan, he cooks up, and it is damn good food, man. Like, Jeff is that's for anybody that doesn't know pulling, there's a reason why a few people call him Mr. Excitement, because he's definitely something else. He's a great guy. Absolutely.
His son
great
is
guy.
a spitting image of it, and it's
yeah,
hilarious. Those kids strap those vehicles down. They come out there, just freaking
dude. Their kids are awesome.
Yeah.
All of them. They're. I mean, like I said, they're great. I mean, if any of us ever need, hey, can you jump on this? Boom, right there. I mean, they're
the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's pretty cool. I like seeing, like, Kevin and Lindsay and all them, Cody and all that stuff. Cody's got a new family. The reason he ain't out here very much, he's got a baby girl, and he's going to drive a long damn way to do what we do in a lot shorter of a time. I mean, it's tough to see everybody get out there and run the circuit, but glad to see everybody working together to make that stuff happen. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well, shit, I feel like we're going to have to get Donnie back next episode. And it's going to be the only time we tried going to that well 3 different times, but we have a lot.
He said, guys, I promise next time I will be there and there won't be a problem. I'm sorry.
So does that mean we got to hit him up live somewhere?
Well, hopefully there's no more sled questions between now and then. So, because
let's hope.
Yeah,
that there's no more sled questions. I'm sure those guys are. You know what? You know what? We have to get him on here, and I think we need to do it for a full episode, only because I talked to him the other night for 2 hours, and I'm telling you, that guy, he's a storyteller for one, and he's very well spoken, and he's been doing this a long time. I think he genuinely cares for the sport. We talked about some things maybe that they can do that makes it more transparent with the pullers, and maybe, I don't know, just being a little more transparent with the pullers. It's really hard. It's really hard thing to do. Obviously, people are seeing stuff on TV and stuff. And look, as a puller, I think these guys are doing everything they can. Life is busy. They brought a new sled to the pull. You can see what you can see, but let me tell you, he brings top-notch equipment every time. That thing didn't fail. Track conditions changed. You can see him working on it and doing all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we get that thing settled in a pull off, we would have known what was going on, but we didn't get to see it. So there was a lot of things that happened that weekend. Sorry to the fans, shouldn't have to apologize. We weren't going to get that show in. And thanks for hanging around as long as you could. We got rained out before we could even finish the mini class. I know there's 2 other classes to go there. But Chapel Hill is a class act event. They treat the pullers better. They were dealt a bad hand. If anybody would have seen how much it rained when we were there, even on Saturday, pretty amazing that they did what they did to get up. Well, it's so hot there. And just, Ricky Rose got a stent put in.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
We didn't talk about that.
And then Vaughn's incident, and then one other thing, Scott Doty, a flagman, had to go to the hospital.
I didn't know that.
There was a lot of stuff that happened this weekend that just, at the end of the day, trying to put on the best show possible. Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. I think there's a lot of things that transpired this weekend. Maybe some people don't feel the same about each other anymore, and part of it. But, it's what's best for the sport. Don't be so negative. Be positive. It's great. So carry on, guys.
Should we wrap on that?
I think so.
I love you all. Love pulling. We'll be back in 2 weeks. What's 2 weeks from now? That's the week of Napoleon and Hillsborough, right? Yeah. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Tyler, good luck to you this weekend. Adam, I'll see you in a couple days. And to all you fans, thank you again. Thank you to Brandon Hunt. Thank you to Campbell's, Jeff Hurt, all that crew.
That was pretty awesome. Honestly, all those guys. I really wish we got to talk to Donnie, but those guys did a great job. It's pretty awesome, man.
It's going to happen. We're going to get Donnie on.
Well, I think he was in Peyton the first time and he got busy. They don't have a good cell phone service there. And, I guess he's having some issues with his phone. I'm telling you, those guys are class act. He's after talking to him, I feel better about stuff. They're going to do the best they can to make this sport better, just like all of us.
Tyler, one last thing. Is Bruce going to drive this week?
Man, I don't know. He told me he was driving at Henry and he didn't. So One thing about it, that guy takes things day by day. He commits to very little, and he does whatever the hell he wants, whenever the hell he wants. And
how's his crops looking, Tyler?
Well, the crops are a little lean. Old Farmer Bruce has been trying to do the old rain dance for a couple of weeks here.
Is he?
And, things are a little dry,
Come to Indiana or Ohio. I'm sure there's some rain
there.
there.
If the good Lord blesses us with some rain, we might be able to fiscally afford to go pulling next year. So fingers are crossed, and hopefully he can turn a decent harvest there, and things will look up. So yeah.
Gentlemen, cheers. Love you guys. Love you fans. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Everybody be safe. No Practice Podcast. We'll be back. Thanks.
We're out.
This is how fast my dad can get out of the tractor.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.